Game time, Brian. Your name's name that I gun. You need a way to the fire. Tatey with hammer stills gunned in the living room. Just a mailbag full, delivering letters. Now I'm dropping that fuel from the 9 to 5 to the Cowboys grind. Turn my voice into a platform. Game time, Brian. Every snap, every play, break it all down. Blue and silver pride, yeah, I rep this town. From the news to the rumors, every hot debate. If it's Cowboys talk, man, I'm never late. They say America's team, yeah, the name holds weight. 5 rings deep, and we still chase it. No matter win or lose, I stay locked in. Every game day is game time again. Game time, Brian, put the star in the sky. Talking about the boys till the day I die. From the mail route grind to the YouTube fame. Now the whole world knows my name. Tune in, lock in, yeah, we going live. Cowboys Nation, yeah, we ride or die. Opinions fly, but the passion stays. Every day's game time. Press play. Dak takes the snap, Micah on the chase. Talking O-line, defense, who's making the plays? Trades, rumors, draft picks too. If it's Cowboys news, then you know I come through. No network scripts, just a fan with a voice. Doing this my way, yeah, that's my choice. Breaking it down for the real, no cap. If you're riding for the star, then you know where we at. They say America's team, yeah, the name holds weight. 5 rings deep and we still chase 8. No matter win or lose, I stay locked in. Every damn day, it's game time again. Yeah, top run, put the star in the sky. Talking about the boys till the day I die. From the mail rail grind to the YouTube fame. Now the whole world knows my name. Tune in, lock in, yeah, we going live. Cowboys Nation, yeah, we ride or die. Opinions fly, but the passion stays. Every day's game time. Press play. Leg nights, early mornings. Yeah, I built this up. Did it for the fans, never just for luck. One video turned into something real. Now Cowboys Nation.
With the 44th pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, the Dallas Cowboys select Donovan Eziraku, defensive end, Boston College.
Mel, what a final college season this pass rusher had. 65 pressures, led the nation, 16 and a half sacks, second best in the country, and he was the ACC's Defensive Player of the Year.
And Micah Parsons got some help now. They can learn, obviously, Donovan Eziraku can from Micah Parsons. 23 on a big board to get him at 44. The races take place. Great player slides through the cracks. And 80 tackles as well. 80 tackles. He wasn't a one-year wonder. Back in 2022, he had 14 and a half tackles for loss, 8 and a half sacks, and forced 3 fumbles. That's been, I think, the mode of operation for Donovan Eziraku his entire career. He can bend off the edge. He's got...
Well, good evening, everybody. As much as I would like to show all the highlights, you know, we can't do that on YouTube. Good evening, everybody. Game Time Brian with my partner, Primetime Phil, here on a Wednesday hump day edition of, I don't know, let's just talk some football. I told everybody I would do a live stream. I will open it up a little later. I haven't even dropped the link yet. I'll drop it up for the channel members in a little bit. Every time I drop it and say don't join till 9, everybody floods in. So we'll open it up for them to come in shortly. But Phil, how are you? What's going on, my man?
Doing well, man. Halfway through the week, hump day.
It is.
And I was like, I reached out to Brian. I was like, are we doing anything? Just had that mood. I kind of wanted to talk football, just a little escape. Maybe talk some of these draft picks. What we've, again, I have so many mixed feelings, and I would like to get it out there.
Yeah, Elena, I didn't realize when I added that picture that it was last year's Super Bowl. Well, who cares? You know what I'm saying? Who cares? You know what I mean. We're just talking post-draft. This is the season of optimism for everybody. So it's just fun. But yeah, Phil, everybody wants to do live streams, so we're gonna give it. I mean, we'll talk about whatever you guys really want to talk about. But I heard a lot of. Now we're starting to get. We can't win, Phil. Right? If we don't take best available, we reach. Right? We reach. Dallas reached for something they didn't need. Then when we get something we need, it wasn't necessarily something I was looking at. But now that it's over, I'm glad we did what we did. And however you rank them, we got 3 really good football players, and then we'll see. Then we will see.
Yeah, when I look at the grades, right? The grades that everyone get, they get high grades. Because they got amazing personnel and where they did. But again, as a Cowboys fan, as a YouTuber, as a person, I feel a bit empty as I walk away from this draft because this excitement that I had for some of these guys. Ravel, I think Ravel is the only one that
Ravel, yeah.
came around that came upon that I wanted on this team. And but of course, a previously injured corner with high possibility and stuff like that, but still the injury history. Donovan Izuraku.
Easy, yeah.
Did I get it close to Izuraku?
Yeah.
He, I love his tape, and I remember watching Florida State games, being down here and being a Florida State Seminole supporter, and just hating this. I'm like, God dang, that defensive end is just killing us. And he's not that big. He's not that great. Like, put some body on him.
Right.
And then to see him come over to our team, that's the part I get excited about because I did see him on the opposite side of a team that I really rooted for. So that's the nice part. In that first, having that guard and everything, that the 3 Tylers, I feel like there's some kind of force being reckoned here. It's forming and stuff like that. So I do get excited about that. But again, man, I feel empty walking away from this draft, even though every single one of them will probably be a playmaker for us or be an eventual role player. I know you love Jay Toa or whatever.
Yeah.
And I love seeing his film. I love seeing him in his practices and some of the video where he was in UCLA. Sorry, I'm a little bit big-winded on this one.
No, go. I'm good, man.
But with him, I love that whole thing, that whole nature, like his whole aura about him. Will he be something for us?
Well,
I don't know, but I at least love the aura that he brings.
Well, we've talked about the players, right? We've talked about what we think. But then as I look around, it's funny. Brian Broaddus had Savon. It's like it's funny. It's SH, but the H is silent.
SH is silent.
Savon.
Ravel. That's what I said originally, and you were like, no, Shavon, and I'm like,
right.
Savon. I'm like,
yeah, you were right. But Savon Ravel, Brian Broaddus had him as a 7th overall player. 7th on the big board. If he did not, let's put it this way, if he did not suffer the ACL tear early last year, that he would be the number 1 corner taken. And that is that's something to think about. Again, it's funny, and I just saw Jimbo, I thought the same thing too, brother, when it came to Tyler Booker. I thought, well, in a perfect world, trade down and still get Booker. But in listening to Brian Broaddus, I've brought
switch
him
it
up.
around. Yeah.
Well, what he said was he reached out
switch it
to
around,
his
right?
But he reached out to his gang of 7 because he was thinking what we were thinking. Well, why not try and drop down to 2021 and get Booker? There was no way that was happening. Listen, there was no way. Booker
no.
Was
with the trade, not with the. Was making it. No. Yeah, I don't believe
Booker
so. Booker
was not getting out of the teens, whether it was 16, 17, 18. He was not getting out of the teens. He was not. So as much as in my mind, I'm thinking, we've done mock drafts, right? We've done them. Now we were all wrong.
Yeah.
As always.
Yeah. Well, and we knew that. It was kind of a March Madness bracket type of situation.
Yeah.
But when I look at this, I look at the whole thing with Tyler Guyton and Cooper Beebe. When I look at Cooper Beebe, he's my 1st rounder. Guyton is my 3rd rounder. And Nealon is my 2nd rounder. That's how I mix it in my head. Now, if you want to put Donovan Izaraku in the first round, you want to put Booker in the second round and put Ravel in the third, and it makes it feel better about it, then that's what it is. Like the talent is there. Now, would it have been my choice again? No, but again, I'm not thinking of that part of the offensive line. Every single year, I am harping on let's get an offensive lineman, and this wasn't the year that I was.
Right? You know,
No, and so that's where I'm like, okay, I'm behind it. I get it. I love it. But at the same time, that empty feeling. You know?
I saw some stuff in the chat. I let it slide. You know, I let it slide until I did more research on the player. But Easy, as they call him, as Dallas calls him Easy, Donovan Ezaraku.
Number 41. Boo.
Is that what he's going to be?
Boo. Yes, that's what I saw.
Yeah, well,
he was 41.
I don't know any of the numbers, so we'll get into that.
Ravel was 27. I don't know if that's all this was stuff. That's what I saw. I saw it drop, but I don't know.
But Ezaraku, he's 6'2 and a half, 250. Okay, that's what he is. He is not light in the ass. I know Drew said, "Oh, he's light in the ass." No, he's not.
He looks light in the ass. When you see him, he looks
because he's not 6'4". He's 6'2".
He's toned. He's ripped and like.
Here's the deal with Easy, and his college stats bear it out. Because I heard from this same individual who said, "Oh, he can't stop the run." Again, that could be the furthest from the truth.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, there's not.
Actually can stop the run very well.
Yeah, he's very well.
He's the bendiest edge rusher in the draft. He had the most sacks in FBS last year. Again, all I'm saying is don't shit on the player because of the logo on the helmet, right? You know, don't do that. Well,
it's like when I watch Ravel, like he tackles. He gets his shoulder down there, he tackles. He's not afraid to do that. So like these guys are dogs.
Stop the run.
Yeah,
that's what it says.
Definitely, I saw it. I definitely saw the thing there. I mean, obviously,
better
a lot
than
of
Micah
the highlights
coming out of college. Okay?
Yeah, I would say yeah. Well, because he has move sets. Remember when I was talking about when Micah came out? I go, there's no move sets. So everything is athletic ability.
Yeah.
At least this guy has spins. He has swipes. He has all this type of stuff.
Listen to what Phil's saying. He has an array of moves coming out that Micah could only dream of. Now, what do you?
Yeah, Micah had hardly.
Like what are we saying, right? I'm not saying he's better than Micah. I'm saying he has more tools, right? In his
at least he's ready going into the league.
Yeah, that's all we're saying.
Yeah,
road to the Super Bowl.
We're not saying the production is going to be there.
I'm not saying we're going to the Super Bowl. Every team in the NFL starts their journey now. This is after the draft, right? The journey starts now, everybody. We can have fun with it. Who the hell knows what happens? God forbid teams have the type of year we had with injuries. You ain't going either. So, shit, who knows? Who's going to be the last?
I mean, all the teams that had those injuries. Let's see: San Francisco, out. Detroit. Yeah. I'm amazed they stayed above surface as far as they did. They had the most injuries out of anybody. That just goes to show you what type of team they built. That the depth came in and was able to keep pushing. And if they had just got those guys to be healthy by the end of the season, that would have been a hell of a push for them. But these guys were just out for the rest of the season, and those were some terrible, terrible injuries. So. Ultra says Donovan has the best pass rushing set of any defensive coming out of college, and that's the truth, man. You see it. I don't get extremely excited about the pick, but man, I'll get excited when he's making sacks, and he's easily able to get double-digit sacks in a season, and that's what we need. I mean, we need the guy that goes beyond the 1 year. Let's see, Fowler 1 year, Peyton 1 year, so we need to know that we have a future there. And man, we're just loaded on the edge rushing right now, and I love that.
Yeah, and I will open up I will put the link in the community tab shortly, everybody.
Because you can't behave. You guys can't understand.
I'm waiting until I'm ready to have you in here.
Yeah, exactly. Because he knows once he opens up the gates. He's like
he's
my brother when he's drinking beer. Once he opens up the gate, that's it. Every 5 minutes, every 2 minutes, he's up. Every 2 minutes,
once I start
he's
going.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I make fun of him all the time. He's like, I'm gonna go. Yeah, I know where you're going, dude. You ain't gotta tell me.
Once I start peeing clear, it's over.
Yep. Oh yeah, is that what it is? He's like, oh no.
Yeah.
The night is done.
Yeah, I don't know what that means. The guy we drafted was just as productive as Donovan. We got him in the 6th. Drew, put down the crack pipe. Our guy had led the nation in sacks, and he again. This is what some Eagle fans do. They want to crap on Dallas players because of the star. Don't believe me. He believed the people who break down the sport. But hey, you're entitled to have your own opinions.
What I'm getting
I'll
excited
have
about
the
this offseason, I want to see, and Vach said it, and I kind of got excited when I heard about it this morning. He's like, people forget that Cooper Beebe's coming in was eating the peanut butter.
yeah.
We don't know about
Exactly.
guy, and that's that big X factor, but we're not.
It's up to
As
us.
much as an X factor, it's not Walesko, it's not any of those other guys. So at least it's a cornerstone that you're trying to figure out. It's just, to me, it's like putting a young quarterback out there. Let's see what we have, man. Let's put him out there. Let's let him prove it. Like,
Right.
the fact that he only got to play 8 games last year, kind of that's where I feel where I don't have a good sense of where Tyler Guyton is at, because yeah, we don't know. We
Right.
we never saw, we never got to see the end of the season where, like what we saw him a little bit here, they were like, okay, that's not really bad. But Mike McCarthy was over here trying to save his job somehow. I don't know.
Yeah. Loyal. What's going on with Loyal? He said, what's happening, buddy?
Nothing.
What happened with Loyal? I say, I don't know. But anyway, I just saw Randy say, sorry, Loyal. Yeah, so again, I'm just happy about the picks. I see what you're seeing, Phil. It says Tyler Booker, number 52. Okay. Izaraku, number 41. So that's
Terrible
interesting.
number. Terrible number, man.
Is he going to keep it?
No, that's what I don't like. I don't like when they come in and then they're gonna, like, a year or two, they're gonna turn around and switch the number to.
After the cuts, he may change, maybe, right?
No, yeah, probably.
I don't know if it's first
You
year.
can't tell me there's not another number there that like, a
Siobhan
little bit more
Rovell, number
intimidating. Like,
27.
give me a 90. Give me a 90 something,
Yeah.
Is 92 taken? Like, I don't know. Like, it's just,
Yeah.
just give me a more intimidating number than 41. Like,
I think it'll change, or at least for him. I
Unless
noticed that they didn't get Jadon Blue his number. So what does that mean? Who's getting cut? Speaking of cuts, we could talk about that, right? We could talk about some of the cuts that Dallas did today. Dallas had 4 cuts. They cut running back Malik Davis, which it's a crowded running back room right now.
Yep.
Jadon Blue obviously is coming in as the headliner. The running
as of
back
right now,
with,
for this, at least for this year.
the running
Be
back
real.
with track speed, which is it's exciting. And I was watching.
I'm interested. I'm interested to see how he does. I'm not too impressed by him. I do like his home run ability. I do like.
I love his.
I
love his pass routes. I love the
his
fact
running.
that he
It looks amazingly fast.
Yeah.
But
and he's
again,
everybody says he's small. He's not small. He's 5'9.5", 200 pounds.
he's thick. He's a thick
He is
dude.
a solid.
Yeah, that's why I thought he was wearing quarterback rib protectors, but he wasn't. That's him. I was like, damn, that dude's a thick dude.
Yeah. But yeah, just
Ooh,
looking
so
at
they
it.
say Blue is 23 is signed. That's a pretty good number. I like that.
Yeah, well, that's what he was in college, so I like that. Let's see. The Cowboys ranked at 24 last year in attempts, 27th in yards. And rushing with Rico and Ezekiel Elliott. The team announced Wade Davis, offensive lineman Jack Anderson, linebacker Brock Mogensen, which is more of a special team, and offensive lineman Earl Bostic. Deuce Vaughn's spot on the roster is also in jeopardy as the Cowboys upgraded the running back position.
Let's be real. It is.
I mean,
it is.
That's just a fact.
And it should be. It should be. Everybody's roster spot should be up for jeopardy. Let's fucking be real, man.
Yeah. I would like to see him run behind a Tyler Booker.
A good line. Yeah. Instead of this.
So again, I like the kid.
Give him a fair chance. Yeah. He'll be a Panther.
I would rather cut Miles Sanders and keep him, but I get it. I mean,
and that's the thing too. When I look at it, that's who it is that's going to be cut. It's one of the two veterans. And if you that to me just makes the most sense. Maybe even both veterans, tell you the truth. But I guess we'll see, right? It's just the competition wants to get on the field. Even I want to see Phil Maffa. I want to see how he runs. Phil
Maffa. It's funny.
I do like some of his film, but again,
to me that's another.
Would have been
where
my pick. Would have been my pick.
I'm not getting overly excited about Phil Maffa. I hear what everybody's saying. Don't get me wrong.
The 1-2 punch looks pretty nice.
I like the fact that he's a team leader, and I like all the, I like that. It's a cool story, and his 3.7 yards after contacts is impressive, but, like when I watched him, Phil, and I don't know, you let me know. Maybe my eyes are lying to me. He seems like he moves laterally too much.
Yeah,
he,
for a
he's,
guy, well,
I
he's
mean,
moving like laterally across the
yeah,
line.
like
He's
he's
shifting.
trying to
For a dude that,
tiptoe
yeah.
around rather than just
Well, when he's doing the lateral movement, he's standing still. He's sitting upright. He's not like shifty down and shifting it sideways.
yeah.
He's
Yeah, and Twiz brings up a good point. Jadon's got to hold on to the ball. Yes,
Yep, had some
absolutely.
fumbles. I saw that a couple of
He,
times on some of those
but he
things. Yep.
carries the ball low, and I would say this: he may have to learn the hard way because everybody knows that when you come into the league, Phil, when you come in the league, they look at your tape. They're gonna be pulling. I mean, they're gonna do it anyway. But especially if they know that you have a tendency to fumble the football, yeah. But
Yeah,
he'll
they're
be
coming for that
taught.
ball. Yeah.
I mean, he'll be taught. Who was it that we had who had to learn to hold the ball up high? And he I think it was an early Zeke, right? Early Zeke was doing that. A lot of these come in and they swing the ball with their arm. You got to hold that puppy up inside tight. So
Yeah.
we'll see.
Well, I mean, even okay, so I get those picks though. Like I can see why Blue, and I can see why Phil Moffat. I can see what the one that is the big question mark for me is Shamar James, Shamir James or whatever his name is.
Shamar
That
James.
one to me is the
It's a trait.
I don't get it.
That they have a certain vision for the
Yes.
player.
Yes, that's what it is. When I look at this,
but I like that. But if you're looking at his college tape, that's why sometimes it could be kind of
misleading.
Misleading because
what did they ask him to do?
Exactly. Mozzie Smith was an absolute beast in college, right? How did it translate to the pros? Some guys not necessarily a beast, yet they're unbelievable pros. We could go down the list of average college guys who get a shot. I mean, what the hell? Puka Nacua came out of nowhere for the Rams and arguably the top 3-5 receiver in the game as a rookie. So, it really don't matter. Coaching matters, people. You see that in Philly with Jeff Stoutland. You see it. I mean, coaching matters. Me and Phil have been talking about our offensive line for the last few years, especially the coaching of the offensive line. So it'll be interesting to see this new coaching staff. And I should have known better, Phil. Wow, another home run for the Phillies. I should have known better that they were going to go out and get themselves a player for the new offensive line coach, an offensive coordinator, right? Clayton Adams. They went and got him and Tyler Booker. Obviously, that's the way the draft fell. But then they went out and got their defensive, their defensive coordinator out of Chicago. They went and got him a piece in Ezeraco, or Easy as they call him. And listen, I'm not going to lie to you. The reason why I love Easy is because his house... His family lives less than 15 minutes from where I'm broadcasting tonight. So it's very exciting for us to have one of our local kids.
Yeah, he was a Philly fan until that night, until he got drafted.
I mean, he has the same zip code as I do, let alone play for my team. So I'm excited about the player. I also have the knowledge that he led the nation in sacks. He's a good two-way player. He stops the run well. We'll see. There's no guarantees with any of these players. But and it's funny, you were talking about Brian Broaddus would have them in reverse. He actually had them all.
Easy. He had Easy first, and then he had Booker in the second.
He had Ravel first, right?
Ravel first. Oh yeah. I think that's what he had.
Ravel first. Easy at 26, which is what most people had him around.
Anywhere
I had him
from in the late first.
and then Booker. So it doesn't matter, right? Just like last year, it doesn't matter. It's where you get the player, where you plug it in. We're happy with it. Are we done? No, but I wanted to get into just a little bit, about the wide receiver, because I had made a video just in my morning drive. People love that video.
Holden?
Well, no, I wish you could speak to him, but I just want to talk about. Everybody's so concerned about a number 2 wide receiver, right? And I just want to, again, our running game was so porous last year with injuries.
What's the number 2 wide
talent.
receiver?
Well, let's talk about the fact that they're going to get somebody. Let's just say, for the sake of argument, that they bring in Amari Cooper. Okay. Is he what he was? No, but he's the same guy who had 246 yards in a game last year and set an NFL record just last year. But don't you think that this coaching staff, the way they, well, I want your opinion first before I get into what I think. What's your opinion on the state of our receivers and how important is it that they have to go out and get a number 2 running back? I mean, a wide receiver.
Wide receiver. What's the number 2 wide receiver? When I look at a number 2 wide receiver, I think of the Allen Harpers. I think of the Terrence Williams. You know, the guys that really complimented our number 1, Dez Bryant. Terrence Williams was that guy that when Dez wasn't the guy, Terrence boom would all of a sudden just get this tippy toe sideline type of play. Now, I know there's film out there and it shows Tolbert, and I have not been the biggest Tolbert supporter either. But when you look at the film and the fact that he's out there every single offseason with Dak, he's ripping it up. His season keeps improving. Right now on this team is Tolbert is your number 2 wide receiver, and you may not get excited about it. And if I could probably bring in a guy now, because you've already made it way too late, unless you're trading with some other team to get one of their number 3s that could be a number 2. You understand, we're a really crowded room. I could pick so many numbers of people. We could go in so many different directions. But if you're going to give me a asset that you're not going to have to pay draft all that stuff, give me Keenan Allen. I understand the injury history and stuff, but guess what? Amari's just as hurt as him, and I would rather have a guy that complements this offense. Like, for example, Keenan Allen, big body, a guy that you can throw it up into the corner, maybe a guy that's going to present you numbers compared to the other guys, but a guy that's going to go up and get the ball. You know, we don't have that on this team. And Amari Cooper, don't get me wrong, that would be a hell of a connection because him and Dak actually played together, and they already have that connection. I wouldn't say that they wouldn't need to get back involved, but you saw how it was right off the bat in the first time around. So I would imagine that would be good. So what would I do? I would go out and get that number 2 wide receiver and bring him in here, whether you're trading, whether it's something. But when you really look at it, you know, Tolbert has shown that he can improve every single year, and he has. Last year, I don't really remember too many drops by Tolbert, and I remember him catching a lot of third down passes and times that we needed to. There were some times where I was disappointed in something that he wasn't stepping up, but I don't know if that was the offense, because I really feel vanilla a little bit when I think back to McCarthy and not wanting to change some of his ways. And when we did, all of a sudden, because Brian Schottenheimer wanted to, we were successful. But that was where Brandon Cooks was kind of standing in the way as well. Wasn't being a true number 2, but was kind of standing in the progress of other guys. So when I look at it, I look at our number 3s are on this team. It's just any of them can shift in there and get to that spot. But let's go out and get number 2, man. Let's really be real about it, and man, quit with that 4th, man. If you're gonna go out and get a number 2, get a second round pick. Go out and get a true number 2, man. Use a number 2.
Well, here's the deal. Everybody wants to crap on Tolbert or not give him any respect. Ultra does bring it up in the chat. I see that. Jalen Tolbert last year.
Yeah, let's look at it, because I'm feeling of what I felt. I felt like he improved. Like,
he's a great number 3.
Yeah,
he had 49.
Probably truly number 4.
He had 49 catches for 610 yards and 7 touchdowns. He averaged 12.4 yards a carry. Okay, I mean, that's really good. I mean, I just happened to pull up Devontae Smith's numbers. He had 68 catches for 833 and 8 TDs. And 12.3 yards. So actually, Jalen Tolbert had a point better yards per catch, 1 less TD, and let's face it, he was not on the field nowhere near as much as Devontae was. Now the Eagles ran the ball. We didn't really run the ball. So I think people don't give Jalen as much credit. But to me, he's not a number 2 receiver. So I think we are deeper than a lot of people think in wide receiver. And I do think we're going to make a move. I do. I don't know what it's going to be. But I told everybody you couldn't get everybody in the draft. You were not going to get every need. And I would rather go get a veteran wide receiver if you weren't going to get McMillan. Because every other wide receiver in that draft.
I still want to bring in Gilmore. Gilmore.
Yeah, and like we could talk about that.
And I like Butler. And Butler keeps getting forgotten as well in the cornerback room. Yeah. Like, he did amazing last year when he stepped in and had to when we lost all our top corners,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
all of a sudden we were
yeah.
pulling people. Hey,
Yeah,
you!
Tolbert missed a couple games
all
too,
right,
Drew.
if you're sitting in section
I'm
305,
just trying to
seat
say he's
row
not
number
horrible.
4, you're going
That's
to be
all.
the starting corner for the Dallas Cowboys today. It's just that's how it got to the end of the season. It's just it was kind of ridiculous, but Joe Butler was amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm just trying to keep it in context that he's not horrible. Okay, that's all I'm saying. You know, he averaged more yards per catch than your guy, and he's quote unquote horrible. He's not a horrible receiver. That's just keep it in context. You know, we're gonna keep it real. Jalen Tolbert is an average receiver who, you know, is fighting for a contract. We'll see, but he's not a number 2.
Dude, yeah, if you fight for a contract year, expect Tober to get over 1,000 yards.
I just wanted to point out, people
just to
think
fool
that
everybody.
he had 400 yards or he didn't. No, he had 7 touchdowns. He's actually got better as the year went on with a backup quarterback. See, you know, you say that Devontae Smith. I'm not comparing him like he's as good as Devontae. Just relax. But what I'm saying is he played the whole year with Cooper Rush for the most part. You know, other than the first 5 games of the year. Like he's second and third string quarterback. It was
come on,
horrendous. No running
I mean,
game.
if people want to rip on skills and stuff, I get that whole thing. But you can't talk about somebody's football program and what they taught him before he got to the NFL. You're talking about Alabama versus Jackson State or something like that.
Exactly.
You know, like
exactly.
it doesn't. Those two programs on the weight room. Yeah, man. Why wasn't he shredding? Well, but probably because he was lifting turkeys or some shit, man. It's not the same program. So to turn around and say,
we're just trying to say that he's not chopped liver, but.
Yeah.
My thing is this: when it comes to the number 2 receiver, I don't know what they're going to do. I'm glad that after McMillan was gone, that they didn't take a receiver high. I'm glad that they did what they did, in large part because they're going to use Cavante Turpin more, supposedly. But that's all we got to go by. They put his contract together with incentives receiving the football. He's deadly with the ball in his hands. They just didn't run very good routes under McCarthy. Supposedly, they're going to do different things, you know. I believe with a better running game, right, with added another stud offensive lineman, you know, to the core, they're going to a more zone run scheme. I believe that will help the passing game, which means, you know, how many times you see last year, you know, like Josh Allen, you know, he threw the ball 11 times. He goes, wow. You know, what a game. You remember when Jimmy Garoppolo beat us in the playoff game? He threw the ball 11 times because they were able to run the ball. You know, wow, Jimmy G got a playoff win. He threw the ball 11 times in a playoff game or 13 times, whatever it was. You know, it's like.
But they were awesome 11 passes, though.
I mean, that's what we want. That's what we need out of our quarterback to not throw the ball 35, 37 times, throw the ball maybe 20, you know,
well, I mean,
times,
either way, let's be
mean?
real, man. Like, I felt like it was a really good, you know, I'm not giving up any kind of season. I really want to see how this is going, but like, you got to make a couple of more moves because you got to kind of set yourself up because he inherited a kind of a mess of a roster where he kind of needed to start putting stuff together. And you're not going to fix it all in the one off season. So you need to be able to patch some holes and really figure it out. That's why I think you're in this position where I get it if you're 1 or 2 guys away and you're like, okay, let's go trade up and get that Genty because we just need that running back that's going to help us. You know, like we weren't there, you know, so we needed everything and we needed all positions really, you know, all hands on deck except for kicker and punter. But and that's kind of what they did. And when I said this before, and I said this to Mike Tagg on his channel, the scouts are going to lead this draft. This is what happened. The scouts led this draft, you know. So I'm not surprised by any of the picks. I don't walk away excited. I'm not ready to go buy a jersey, but you know, it'll get me excited next year when all of a sudden our running game gets going. It'll excite me when you know, I don't feel a big drop if Diggs or Bland isn't out there and we have Ravel out there and hopefully Carson can make a jump and we still have guys coming from deep down in the roster that you know, that we've had our eye on. And so these are the years, you know, you've already had a couple of years into this program. New coaching staff comes in, so you need to kind of show them because Eberflus, these aren't those guys, man. How many of those guys does he have that are his guys? So, you know, they need to figure it out. I think Jack Sanborn is the only guy that's definitely probably safe on this roster in the defense.
Well, Randy brought it up. I just wanted everybody to see. This is our Savon Ruvel. Remember, he suffered it in September, so he's going to be ready for training camp. They say. I still believe he's going to work on the side on pup. This is him working out on the treadmill. He's looking pretty darn good. Just check him out. He's not bad, everybody. He is coming along. He's got about 3 months to go before he really has to really worry about everything. I still think he'll start out on pup. He has not been cleared to cut, left and right and do all that, but that will, him coming in with Brett Brown, the doctor who did the surgery, he had already been in Dallas, working
Phillies
out.
win.
He's Savon Ravel. He's already
Phillies win.
Yeah. Phillies won. Yep. Yep. So it's nice that and like what we hear about the kid is he is such a hard worker, nice kid. Again, if he didn't suffer the injury, he probably would have been the first corner taken. Now, is he going to be ready for the start of the season? Yeah, but again, we have to look long term. I'm glad when you come to the draft, you can't necessarily say, well, who's going to help us? Right
now,
this
tomorrow.
second.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
mean, you got to look at the big picture. You got to look beyond what's in front of you. You got to look. I mean, we've gotten even younger over the course of this offseason.
Oh yeah, man.
Yeah,
I thought we couldn't
Dak
get.
is the only guy
like that.
left from the Jason Garrett era.
Yeah, what was his
That's it.
name? Hankins was the only one that was bringing our average back up, but he's off. He's off in Seattle.
Yeah. I thought maybe we would bring him back, but when we brought in Toya, he wasn't
Peters.
coming back. Toya.
Oh no.
Well, it's funny because I saw Dane Brugler, and Dane Brugler had Jay Toya as a third-round draft pick, and I value his opinion. He is actually, I mean, he's not going to offer that much pass rush, but dude is a big boy. He's
True. And what
pounds.
what happens if we get picks on him? What happens if those guys get picks? Are you going to come back here and reverse? No, you're going to say something like, the pass rush, or it's easy, or it's going to be something else, man. You're not going to give him credit. So
Why would happen?
No. I'm trying to talk a little trash, because he's saying I like Ravel, but he and Bland will be barbecue this season with Smitty and AJ will cook. That's what I'm saying. Like, okay,
There we go.
yeah.
Everything had to do with the Eagles, man. Smitty, come on, man. Whatever. That's funny. Everything.
Yeah, I think the only thing that gets me about this offseason that I get down on is the fact that Al Harris is gone. I loved him in our secondary. I'm not very
I
familiar
liked Al
with the
Harris.
secondary
Yeah, we
coach.
talked about it. I did.
And us not having him in our secondaries coach, I feel that will the interceptions come? I mean, and Eberflus's defense is still there, but I always worry when guys that made impacts with young guys, especially young, deep round corners that we were getting, he was making a difference in their coaching, and so that's where I worry about us taking a step back.
Yeah, and again, the pass rush makes your secondary look great. So, if our pass rush gets better, which with the return again of yet another player who was missed for the year, who had 7 sacks the year prior, Sam Williams is back. We brought in Dante Fowler. We have such a rotation. We are now so deep. Knock on wood, nobody gets injured. Donovan Azariku, Marshawn Nealand, Micah Parsons. I mean, it's pretty. It's deep, and they're going to come in waves.
I love the defensive edge.
It's going to come in waves. Linebacker, I think it's going to be light. I mean, listen, I get it, but nobody has signed Eric Kendricks. Just to let everybody know, he is yet to be signed. So if it was that, I mean, thank you, Eric, but I don't think this coaching staff wants a guy like that. They want to go younger, more explosive, more of a downhill thumper, and we got that with Murray, and now Shamar James. We'll see. We got the return of Leah Fowl for his sophomore season. We're going to have Agent Zero back at some point. I think he's going to be ready for like He'll probably miss
Hopefully
the
he can
first
stay
few
healthy.
games.
I think that's the biggest thing. Just being able to stay
Yeah,
healthy,
it'll be
not
curious how our
yeah.
schedule is at the first month of the season. If we could hang around 500, it'll be interesting because then we start getting guys back. But we got time to worry about the actual playing of the games. We're just excited about all the young talent that we're getting.
Yeah, I think, and I think it goes beyond the young talent on the field. I think it's the young talent we have as the coaching staff. They're going to have to go and learn
That's
on the
another
job. We
thing.
have an
Yeah,
offensive coordinator that was an offensive line coach, so I get excited about his ability to coach our offensive line. But he's still learning a job. He's still, and he's going to take that step. Is there going to be growing pains, or is he going to succeed? Is he going to hit
right,
the ground running? We don't know, man.
right.
And so, I do like who we brought in the sense of Eberflus. I mean, I was not even thinking of Eberflus on
Flus.
my radar, man. I was
Well,
over here on Robert Salas, and
I wanted to. Well, you brought up Flus, and remember he was the head coach of the Bears, correct? So,
yeah, and defensive coordinator of the Colts. I think that's what a lot of people tend to forget. Where for a
and I
while there,
thought
where the
I
Colts were
saw,
actually really good.
and I thought I heard Mark Holmes say that
You're gonna quote Mark Holmes? No.
that what's his name, the wide receiver for Chicago, that's a free agent, that he signed with Tennessee. I don't believe he did. Who am I thinking of? Yeah, the free agent wide receiver that you brought up,
Keenan Allen?
Keenan Allen. He didn't sign with anybody.
Not that I know of.
Yeah. So again, but let's not forget, I don't know how he would even think if we wanted Keenan, which I get the feeling we don't. Now they have to wait till the second, everybody. Just remember, they have to wait until the second to sign anybody, not to lose any of their draft picks, their picks for next year.
So later in the week.
So yeah, so May 2nd they'll be able to sign anybody and keep all their the comp picks for next year. So that's where you're going to see probably Gilmore come in for a little veteran insurance and most likely a wide receiver. All signs are pointing to a return of Amari Cooper. So I would welcome it. But
yeah, it doesn't automatically fix all the problems.
No,
or anything like that. At least it gives you a patch or something for temporary.
Yeah.
But
I'm actually excited for Mingo. He's a big-bodied, physical receiver. I'm
hopefully he's
excited for
hungry.
him.
Hopefully he hears the chatter and he's hungry for it.
Yeah, and like I said, he's a very talented guy. I'm excited for him. People forget about him. I'm excited. Turpin. I'm excited for him.
Can I get a point out that there was a lot of times where Mingo was open and his two wide receiver and his two quarterbacks, Cooper Rush and Trey Lance, couldn't get him the ball. So think about that. Think about those balls they were skipping the ground and everything like that. And when you look at the film, Mingo was open. So I'm not jumping on the Mingo. I'm not saying that he's the answer and all that kind of stuff. But
again, he's a young player. They're not failures until they've played at least 3 seasons, right?
Yeah.
So he had about a season and a half. He had with Bryce Young, and
then backup quarterback at the time. It was like bad ones.
So he came.
And Bryce Young
he
needed to be benched in order to play well, right? And so Bryce Young came back and started playing
Richardson
well.
action in Indianapolis, So we'll see. All I'm saying is, let's not forget they're going to give him every opportunity to be an X receiver. So if it's Amari Cooper, if it's Keenan Allen. But I don't know the relationship with Eberflus and Keenan Allen. Now, Eberflus is not the coach, so I don't know if he was like, no, stay away from him. I don't know. Keenan Allen will be 34. I like Keenan Allen, but I kind of like the chemistry between Amari Cooper and Dak. I would rather give that a try myself, knowing that we've already seen it. So, but I think we need a body to just in case, But we do have Tolbert, we do have Mingo, we do have Kevontae Turpin, who's going to be lining up a lot on the outside and in the slot. I mean, they're talking about him, like I said, his bonuses and his contract. He's going to get more run as a wide receiver. Just McCarthy, for whatever reason, never wanted to do it. Not to mention, Phil, I believe that, the return of our tight ends this year. Again, we lost not one, but 2 tight ends, 2 ACLs last year. You saw Ferguson banged up a lot. So I do think I know that's Ultra's guy, but I do think Ferguson will be better. You got Luke Schoonmaker, yet another year under his belt. You got Brevin Span Ford, the beast that's growing. You have I don't know about who's
John Stevens.
John Stevens, who suffered a second ACL. I pray for the man that he can come back, but I'm not really counting on John
Well,
Stevens.
there's a stack tight end room. I mean, there is. It's just they got to perform. They got
Well,
you know.
I just think that let's not forget that we had a decent room, especially with Ferguson, and Dak had some serious competition. Remember, he had that really devastating high ankle sprain that I don't know that he ever really recovered from. He came back after like 2 weeks, I want to say. He wasn't nowhere near 100%. Those high ankle sprains, sometimes it's better to break your ankle because at least you heal faster. That it seemed like it lingered, and it really was at a horrible time for Dallas. But let's face it, once you lose your starter and you got to rely on Cooper Rush, it was never gonna do anything. That's what's kind of exciting to me too, Phil, is that we have a backup quarterback situation that's more desirable than it's been in a long time. I
mean, when he steps in, you're like, could this be the future? Like, there's a thought.
Athletic,
yeah,
cannon of an arm. Just can he dial it in? Like,
Yep. Yeah, exactly. Can he focus? Playing like shit, coach. Like that's like it's just you're like quit slinging it. It's like whoo, bam, and just breaking dishes in the back and just like just like calm it down. Like you don't need to throw it like that, and unless the receiver wants it. But like it's just put a little touch on that son bitch.
Tappity tap.
Yeah, exactly.
Just tap it in.
Reminds me of the Mighty Ducks with that one kid, and just like slinging it. 1 out of 5. 1 out of 5, he'll hit the receiver.
Yeah, well, I was watching a YouTube video from like I guess they did for the first time, and like Emilia Estevez did one of those like Comic-Cons, and he hadn't done one in like 40 years. He doesn't do them. They're making another Mighty Ducks, and that's
I saw that.
Yeah, that was kind of neat. I'm like, all right. Actually, and they're making there's a Young Guns 3 in the works. Now that sounds good because anyway, he was talking
more like
about
old guns.
Yeah, but it's gonna be with some young. It's gonna be some young. It's like different storyline. It's kind of neat, but yeah. Okay, everybody, I'm putting the link in the chat.
Oh boy.
Well, I'm gonna wait a few minutes. I'm gonna get it ready. I'm firing it up. Once it goes in.
Well, you still had it. You can still allow them. You wait.
Yeah, that's true. We could let it wait. Here we go. All right, there you go. Have at it. But
exactly.
yeah. See you later, buddy. Sorry, my son just left. Let's see here. Let me get to the chat. Let me say hello to the people. We haven't acknowledged you tonight. We got Drew's in the house, Devil Dog, Ultra Cowboy, Jimbo. Who else we got? Logan Motorsports, Rollo's in the house, Randy McIntyre, Twiz, Dustin Bosley. How are you? Joe DeMassi's in the house. Mark Hutchton. What's going on, everybody? Are we buffering or are we good? I don't know.
It seems like there's like a little bit of a thing, but I don't know.
I don't know why it's doing that.
I think it might be just a little fuzzy.
Yeah, it's saying there we go. That's weird. Yeah, I hadn't normally had any problems. Ultra Cowboy. Dallas almost beat the Forskins twice with backups. Yeah, it's true. They don't give us credit for that, but that's okay. That's okay. Again, what's up, Tulpa? Pickens gives up in games. Yeah, everybody wants Pickens. What's your thought on Pickens, Phil?
I'm not a Pickens fan. I give him credit in the sense that he is a talented receiver. When his head's in the game, he's not whining like a little bitch. But like, I don't want that kind of guy. He's a poison in the locker room. He would be an improvement of what we have. I definitely would, but. What happens if he's not getting the ball? What happens if we are losing? Because we're still going to be building. I mean, they don't want to say it, but it's a soft rebuild.
Phil. I don't want to give up. I think Drew was right. There's really only one guy I would have liked to have traded for, and that would have been, what's his name, who went to Washington out of Seattle, or not Washington, Pittsburgh. Who am I thinking of? The Seattle wide receiver.
No, you're talking about DJ
Yeah,
Metcalf?
DK Metcalf. Yeah.
DK. There you go.
He would have been the only guy that would have made sense. But again, you know, we have so many young guys that we need to find out about. I do want to bring in a veteran. I just don't want to give up any real draft capital for, like, I don't want Cortland Sutton at 30 years old. You know, I mean, I could see the allure of Pickens, but he's on a contract year. So if he comes to Dallas, I'm not giving what they would want. That's why the Steelers pulled him off of the trade block, supposedly, because they're not willing to take a 4th-round draft pick for him. They want something higher. Well, again, he's in a contract year, I believe, and he's just a mental midget, and I don't know how that would play in Dallas. So I know people get excited with him, but what they're trying to build here with character guys, I don't know that would mesh. I just don't. You know what I mean? I'd rather go with a young, Cavante Turpin.
Like really think about it. Okay, if you were really thinking about how Cooper was, his personality and everything, wouldn't that go with what Brian Schottenheimer is all about?
Yeah.
I mean, like, I know there might have been some stuff on the edge of stuff with Jerry and them, but we don't know what happened back there. You know, hopefully the coaching staff part can be that difference. I wouldn't put my eggs in that basket though.
Yeah. Just looking around we could talk around the league when everybody gets in. But I just kind of wanted to say that I am excited about this draft class. After the first 3 picks, though, I don't really know. I don't think any team really knows. There's a reason why you don't get picked in the top, So I love Maffa, but, I know some people didn't even have him. Like Brian Broaddus didn't even scout him, didn't have him on his board. So, this is that time of year where all your picks are, I love it. I mean, I love what I saw out of Maffa, but we'll see. I also thought he tiptoed around too much, tried to break it to the outside when he's, the size that you are, and you're gaining 3.7 yards after contact. Just
I got you. How about this, guys? Think about Chicago. And they have a hell of a wide receiver room, right? They just picked up some more. Rome Odunze didn't do well last year. Maybe you go out and be able to trade for a guy like that,
right?
And bring him onto your team. There you go. Just I know they gave a 1st rounder, but I don't know. I don't know what how rich it gets and stuff like that. But a guy like that where the talent hasn't been tapped yet, but the possibility is definitely there.
Yeah.
I think that's just a good example in the sense of a guy that that possibly going to be swallowed up by a hell of a wide receiver room, and not to say that quarterback's going to be able to get them the ball anyway. So, but it's just a wild thing to say,
right? Yeah. And now, well, I'll save that for the group. But yeah, so again, there's still moves to be made, everybody. But for the most part, outside of veteran wide receiver, who's probably now. Dallas, obviously, I'm hearing that they made a move for, now, is it AFC North or NFC North? I heard NFC North. Did you hear AFC? I mean,
I heard shit. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah. They were looking to trade with an AFC North team. So that's
what I heard. AFC North was the team that I heard.
Yeah, so that has to be the Pittsburgh or a Rashad Bateman. What do you think about Rashad Bateman? Do you care about him at all, like Baltimore Ravens?
No, doesn't move a needle or anything for me.
I'd rather keep my own and just try and work it out.
Yeah.
Here's what I'm excited about. I'm excited about this. If we only bring in an Amari to compete, right? Let's say that is what they do. I'm excited to rely on the running game and the tight ends. You have CeeDee Lamb. He's one of the top receivers in the league. And you have all this speed now on the outside. I mean, we have upgraded our speed. If you don't, anybody that watched Jadon Blue in college, he lined up in the slot a lot. He is a more polished route runner than Tony Pollard was coming out of the college. And he's not small, people. He's 5'9.5", 198 pounds. And, once he gets in, he'll be over 200. Once he gets in the weight room. So, I don't know. I'm excited to kind of rely on the running game, tight ends, and maybe we add another person. I don't want to give up a draft pick for anybody, just for the sake of it. You know what I mean? I just don't want to do that. But all right, I'm going to let everybody in, or whoever's waiting.
Yeah.
I'm going to let them in, and we'll
release the Kraken.
I want to get into some of the around the league stuff that's happening. We'll start with Jordan Davis. I know they can still, but I'm kind of surprised, that they didn't, get a
NFL
long-term
Network
deal with them.
on
Basically
NFL
this is it.
Well, on the NFL Network, it shows that they picked up the 5th-year option.
Yeah, yes, that's what I mean. They picked it up, but again, that normally means you sign them long term. So this may be
probably
the last
next year. He'll probably be next year when they sign him.
Maybe, but you would think you would know by now, right? Normally Howie, his MO is to.
If I was them, I would save that money and put it towards Carter.
Yeah, well, Howie's MO is to identify who they want to keep long term early. They didn't do this here, which is why NFL Network
Davis
was talking
kind
about.
of.
It's. I mean, I get it, but I'm just saying, you could have saved yourself some money and signed them to a long term deal. So that's all. I think he's earning like $13 million this year, which is fine. But I mean, I was just surprised that they didn't come up with a long term deal. They just decided to give him his 5th year. So I guess there's time to do that. But that is something that happened. So welcome everybody. We got Jesse, we got Randy, we got Momo. What's going on? The lines are open. Hop on in here.
How you doing, Brian? How you doing, Phil?
I'm doing good. Phil, how are you doing?
Freaking great, man.
Oh, I got something to say, and I don't normally speak up like this, but I come in the room tonight and I see all these people trolling about how bad the Cowboys are doing this year. I'm not talking about everybody here. I'm just talking about a few people. I'm gonna tell you something. This year, you better be ready because we're different this year, and I think there's a lot of people out there that are a little bit nervous this year about what we're coming after. The middle of our defense is strong. Now, with you put that 246-pound lineman in there, and then you got
346.
340. I'm sorry, 346. And you
I
put
had it wrong. I said
BB,
324 in my video.
and I'm telling you, Booker's a stud. He's going to be a stud. I'm telling you. And our middle of our offense is going to be good.
Again, I'm excited.
Yes, I am too. And you brought up a point, Brian. They're going to put Blue out on the edge, and they're going to throw to him off of the edge. He runs good routes.
Yeah, he does. He runs. If you just do your homework, not you, but anybody that's
Randy, do your homework.
Yes.
Anybody that's critical of him, go do your homework. Phil, go do your effing homework now. But
no, I'm sorry.
I mean, he actually lines up in the slot quite often. So
right,
and he's made catches on slants over the middle. I mean, that's hard to block, and he has track speed. So again,
the one that I got impressed when I watched him was the over the shoulder into the end zone, those deep passes. That's hard for a running back a lot of times to keep the track of the ball. So I got to give him credit on that one. Yeah.
Well, he played receiver in high school. If people didn't understand that.
No, I didn't know that. That's awesome.
Yes.
He looks a lot like Tashard Choice again. Like I know Choice coached him.
I know.
They got me fired up, Brian. I'm sorry. They just had me fired up tonight. We come in here, and no matter what Dallas does, they can't do nothing right. And I'm just a little bit fed up with hearing it. Bring it on, Eagles. Bring it on, Giants. Bring it on, Commanders, because we're going to be there.
Randy, what did I say? I
said you, Jesse. I just said you. I'm with you, Jesse.
You guys, I'm telling you right now, for me, just for being, I'm a Giants fan, you guys have improved. You guys really have improved. That's because the Jerry boys sat to the side and let the men do the work.
You know what I think happened on your draft? I think the I think the GM's son drafted, and I think that was smart.
Yeah.
Because every year, man, I was hearing him on that Hard Knocks, and I was like, man, this kid knows what he's talking about, man.
Well, I
I'll do
was.
this. I would try this. And I was like,
Yeah,
yeah.
I agree.
Well, Randy, this goes out to you, and this goes out to anybody. I don't see Clemente. Oh, there he is. What's up, Clemente? I got a name for you. This was a comp. You know, all the people that are dissing the Jadon Blue, right? Well, you know, he wasn't a. I mean, I don't know if you guys are my friend on Facebook, but I posted a picture. Actually, I got it from Clemente. It had all the picks. It had Roshan Johnson. It had Bijan Robinson. It had them all, right? I mean, it had all five. Here, let me pull up the picture because I can't freaking. I always forget. My mind is mush. Yeah, it had. Let's see. Where is that?
I agree,
picture?
Vinny.
Oh shit! I guess it's on Facebook. Let me see.
How's everybody doing? I'm just
Everybody's good. Oh, did you guys hear what happened to the Saints?
No, is Derek Carr out? Is that what it is?
No, not that.
Yeah, hold up. You have
Sure.
you got Robinson for the he used to be with the Jaguars, Phil. Roshan Johnson, Jonathan Brooks, Jaden Blue, and Bijan Robinson. They were all on the Texas. They were all on the Texas Longhorns at once. Jadon Blue was a rookie. Jadon Blue has not been he hasn't been relied upon at the University of Texas because there's always been a stud ahead of him. Not until this last year did he get any sort of run. They comped him. Now I know people are gonna get upset at this, but you know what they comped him? Similar size, wasn't the main guy at the University of Texas, and yet went on to have a great career in the NFL. None other than Priest Holmes, who was only 5'9", shorter than Jadon Blue, and a few pounds heavier in the NFL. I think he was 205. So he's about 7 pounds heavier right now. Priest Holmes is his comp. How did he make out, guys? Randy, how was Priest Holmes in the NFL? Was he pretty good?
Priest Holmes was actually from not far from here in Texas.
No, he was a league MVP. Is what I'm
I see him every year.
He was a
every
league
year.
MVP.
He's
Priest
part of
Holmes
the.
was a part-time player in college.
Yes,
Same-
he was. He
same-
wasn't a starter.
He was
He's part of one of
same
the NFL
size,
committees.
The same stature. What I'm
Yeah.
trying to say is people can talk all the shit they want. Go ahead. You know, not everybody is a 5-star, a 4-year starter in college. That's just not the way it works in the NFL. So we'll see. Like I said, I go back.
Can I comment?
No.
Can I say something?
No. Yeah, go
Okay.
ahead. Obviously, I'm joking. Go ahead.
Okay. So I have seen many tape of Blue. Javon Blue is a threat. But what I will say about quick things. One, he speed, but just because you 4'3", got this track speed, that's not football because you're not going straight. You're not going straight down the field all down
No,
long.
yeah, I get that. But the speed is
So
the speed.
I just want everybody to think because he's going to be a home run. No, that doesn't happen in the NFL. That's
It doesn't happen, but if he gets in front of you, you ain't catching.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
I know
But,
that
but
like
yeah,
that.
Emmett wasn't like that. As much
Well,
as
we
love
didn't have it on the rock.
No, okay. And my second point I want to make is that he's very dangerous because he's a route runner.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
He's a route runner and he come out the backfield. That's what I'm concerned. I've seen the tape. But what I'm really concerned, if I'm a Cowboy fan,
Fumbling.
I don't want you to run him to
No,
to
they're
death.
not going to. He's going to be a part of a
He's a committee. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
well,
Tony-
that's all I'm saying. I'm saying because they have done that in the past.
Well, we just haven't had it on the roster since Tony Pollard left, and at least this guy
Who
gives
was
us
the other
somebody.
big back y'all had? What was the other big back y'all ran him to death? And then he left. And left.
DeMarco Murray.
Yes.
Yeah, Eagles signed him, thought they were going to the Super Bowl and flopped.
No, he was all used up. Didn't he ran the ball like five?
Well, he
had
didn't
500 touches.
Almost 500
Well, just
touches
like-
in a year.
He
Yeah.
didn't fit in their
Well,
system.
just like Zeke.
He didn't fit
Yeah.
in their system.
He didn't fit in the system.
Yeah.
Yeah. It
No,
was
he
all
didn't fit in the system. But if you think of a man previous year got 500 touches is going to impact your team, He's no.
Well, they used the hell out of him in his 4 years.
Yeah.
Like
They got their
definitely-
money's worth out of him.
They got
Definitely.
more than their buddies.
They definitely
He
I know.
drained them dry.
Yeah. Yeah. They were running him like a $15 million running back, and he was only making like 250. I don't even know. Like it was
Yeah.
250,000. I don't even know.
I
He
don't know
was
how
what
much he was
round was
making,
he? What round was he? I can't even remember what round he was.
Who's that?
DeMarco.
Fourth round, I
Murray.
believe, or fifth? Yeah.
But he was a
something
good
like that.
back. He was a good back.
He was,
That's why
he was
that's
an amazing
why
back.
I like DeMarco
see,
Murray.
I'm all about the players.
Yeah.
So I know he's a threat. I seen the tape where all these players are Cowboys. You think I'm just talk? I seen that all these guys got drafted. But what is it? It comes down
Who
to
knows,
coaching.
Momo?
It
Who
comes
knows?
down to coaching. That's all it comes down
Well,
to.
I would say this, Momo. That's the one thing I'm excited about. I ain't gonna lie. Coaching has been not very good in the Cowboys for a while.
Oh, amen.
You know what I mean? And the one thing I'm
Hold up. I'm shocked you said that because all these Cowboy fans telling me about Mike McCarthy, 12-5 for 3 years.
Well,
Oh, that was good.
We
that was
liked him,
good. Don't get me
but
wrong.
when I mean, how many times did anybody watch me and Phil when we're live streaming a game saying he's looking at that menu? There's too many options. It's like the Cheesecake Factory menu. Maybe
Or when-
scale down the menu, the food will be better. You know what I'm saying?
Or when a situation came out, there was never a situational play. There were never, okay, we're in this situation, we're going to do this. It just never seemed to have a game plan, truly.
I'm excited because around the league, and this is what I'm hearing from when I watch, like when I watch and listen to certain people that are piped in, they say they're surprised that Dallas was able to put together a type of coaching staff that they did, going out and getting a Clayton Adams, going out and getting, and Matt Eberflus, who's just coming off of being a head coach, right?
Well,
going
remember
out
when-
and getting, the offensive line coach from
White Cotton.
Yeah.
a K-State, White
Yeah,
Cotton.
But here's the
again.
problem about Eberflus. His type of defense he likes to run.
Yeah.
Does he really have the secondary
Well,
to run that?
Yeah, I was going to say, the
Yeah,
personnel.
not yet. Not yet.
Not yet.
no,
Wholly
no.
there, yeah.
Yeah,
exactly.
because he doesn't do man for man. He
Yeah.
do zone, don't he?
Zone, yeah.
He's gotten
Yes,
more into
mostly.
man stuff, though, right? I mean,
Because
so
he was in Chicago, he did a lot of zone.
he does, but remember, he came from a 3-4, so
Right,
he
right.
is
Yeah, that's true.
ultimately going to cater to his players, and that's what they've kind of alluded to. But ultimately, he doesn't want to blitz, so that
Is
should
he,
make
Is he
Cowboy
accountable
fans
to his
happy.
players? Because that play against the Washington, he was passive aggressive with his players, joking and mucking up with the Washington fans, and he should have been in position to knock the ball
Oh,
Oh,
down.
God, yeah, that was hilarious. Oh, shit.
You know what he
Well,
said?
But he wasn't coach then. He wasn't the coach then.
Do you
Remember,
know
he was
what
already
he said,
released
though?
by that point. He was
Eberflus
no
No,
longer.
came
no,
out-
he was the coach. He was the head coach.
Yeah,
No, man. He was left. Wasn't he released halfway through the season? He was
No,
halfway through the
that was
season.
after the
No.
game. He was
I
I
don't
released
swear.
know
after.
about that. I don't
He was
know
after
about
2
that.
games after
I
that
thought-
he was released.
Oh, was it? I swear he wasn't the coach
No,
anymore.
he was the coach. He went up there and said that he didn't
What's
take.
up, Jesse? Get in here.
That was crazy though. Like that guy, like he deserved that. Let's be real. That was the ultimate karma moment. I was laughing my ass off.
And he's the
That
one who
happened.
tipped the ball to have your ex-Cowboy.
You know
wide
what he
receiver
said,
catch it.
Momo? You know what Eberflus said? He goes, normally I come into teams and they don't have any talent. He goes, I'm looking around. Again, you guys can say, I mean, of course, the trolls are going to say what they want, but the amount of injuries that we
And-
suffered on defense, we are very, very deep on that defense. I will say, I will tell you that obviously, that our one
Deep in the
tech
tackle.
position.
Deep in the tackle.
I mean, listen, but again, we're very deep at the 3 tech. We got Solomon Thomas and Osa, so that's as deep as we've been. You got Mozzie and you got Jay Toya. If Jay Toya, who Dane Brugler says he is, then that's pretty darn good. But
here's the question you have
our
to
edge
ask
rushers
yourself.
are impressive.
Well,
we're
but
deep.
but I know Randy said what he said. I just got to say this.
Go ahead.
I have to say, sometimes every time something some Cowboy fans now all feel like, hey, if we did this, we'll get cremated. Every time we do something, we get they complain about the Cowboys. Y'all get more breaks than any other team in the league.
Oh,
Momo, they got a
What
star
are
in
you
their, they got a
smoking?
star in their
You
back,
don't
Momo.
You
They
are
got a star in
breaks.
their back, like a
No.
target.
We
You're
don't get called to
lying.
save our
You are
butts.
lying. You are watching different games,
What are
dude.
you talking
Momo,
about?
You're watching different games. Hey, the Cowboys are the highest penalized team in the NFL.
Yeah.
Oh, they get all that breaks and shit. Yeah, all those breaks. So they,
Dylan
you're
said
wrong
we
about
hate each other.
Momo,
We ain't getting
about
no
half
breaks.
of them are
Go
deserved.
ahead,
Don't get me
Randy.
wrong.
Get in there.
Go ahead.
What's up,
Momo,
Woke?
do you remember? Me and you grew up in the same time frame.
Right.
Okay. Do you remember John Madden and Pat Summerall saying Dallas is critiqued more than any team in the
Yeah, that's
NFL?
exactly what I'm
Yeah,
going to say.
and he did say it, but they love the Cowboys because that's all they talked about was the Cowboys. We go on that broadcast. It's always about the Cowboys.
Well,
That's usually
shouldn't it
whatever
be?
team's
We're,
winning.
we're
No,
America's
no,
team,
no.
aren't we?
I think it was better. We both know there was some great teams back in the Cowboys and that heyday back in that time, and they always summarized the Cowboys as number one.
Because of the
Yeah,
richest
but
team, Momo. They were the
we've
richest.
gone 30 years, Momo, without anything, and people
30.
still talk about us the
I don't know
same way
why.
they did now. It's because we sell everything. Let's just put it where it's at. We're part of the NFL that sells
You're a
most of the
merchandise
stuff.
circus. You're a merchandise
Yes,
circus.
we make more money for every owner in the NFL than anybody else. I mean, and I'm not bragging or anything else. I'm just being honest with you. That's the bottom line.
I give you this, Randy. People love to hate on the Cowboys. It's good to hate
Yeah.
on.
Oh, that's
Yeah, they
definite.
do.
Yeah, I'll give you that because that
I'll give you that.
sells. I get sales because drama sells. The
Yeah,
more
but
you
No, we
hate on
got
somebody,
drama.
And
Yeah.
Jerry Jones is drama.
Drama is
Hey,
a
but
place to you've met drama's home right here. That's
And
all
you
you
got
are
the
is drama.
you
I
got the
will
owner
say
and
this.
ringmaster.
Yes, I will say this though. I feel better this year than I have in 10 or 15 years. And it's because I couldn't stand McCarthy. He should have been fired when Green Bay beat us at home in the playoffs.
why? What did he do wrong? What he
Why
did?
did
Did you
I
see
would
the
have let him
game?
go right then and
I
there.
forget. I forget.
We got smoked like
He didn't have it.
45 to 20 something.
Most importantly, he's the head coach of the team who didn't have his team ready to go.
They have nowhere ready to go.
And he is a horrible,
Should the players be ready?
I hear
Well,
you, Momo,
yes.
but you know how it works, man.
but he's a
You can say whatever you
horrible
want about Nick
coach.
Sirianni. He has his players ready to play.
Yes,
Yeah.
and at
Man,
halftime
you-
we don't make adjustments like the other teams do.
Oh,
We
yeah, I
sit
got
there
you.
and do the same things, and that's
Well, it's always different if the game is close. You're like, oh, at least the game is
Yes.
close, and they barely no, man, they got their ass handed to them, man. It wasn't even close, and that's why you have to walk away. You know, think about Marty Schottenheimer. I'm going to go ahead and go Brian Schottenheimer's dad. Think about all those years where he was in Kansas City, winning all those, all the regular season 13 and 13 win seasons, and then first game in the playoffs, boom, out. First game in the playoffs, boom, out. And he did that for a little bit of time.
Like I said, the
Let's get the
players
gleam,
in the
all
draft
right?
the
Let's go.
Cowboys got, I'm threatened by. As a Washington fan, I am threatened by.
Mark
I like
Hutchins
your- I
says
like
if
your
it
tackle.
wasn't for the Dallas
That's
Cowboys
his
football,
I'm
wouldn't
too. I'm
be.
the same way. I'm like, whoa.
Hold on, let me read the super chat, Jesse. If it wasn't for the Dallas Cowboys
Yeah,
football,
timing.
wouldn't be where it is today.
Today, that's not true. That's not
Anyway,
true.
go
You
ahead,
need-
Jesse. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
That is absolutely.
You guys, like I said before, you guys have improved. Your defense is really good, gotten really good.
I'm interested to see
Yeah.
your defense. I'm interested in the
Yeah,
Giants
and let's
because
talk about that. Let's talk about
Yes.
the Giants a little bit.
Like I said, we had great picks. I mean, I really
love what the
appreciate the team.
Giants
They
did.
did.
I was talking.
Yeah,
I
I
love
do.
what they did.
I was
love what they
looking
did.
at
The thing is,
Pizzle. I was talking to Pizzle on online, and he's excited.
I don't
Yeah,
want to
I'm-
say I
I'm-
called it, but I called exactly both of those picks.
yeah, you did. Yes, you did.
Exactly
I
the way
agree,
that it
100%.
happened.
on the live stream.
100%.
Exactly the
Well, I
exactly the
said
way
on
it
the
happened.
live
Hey, thank
stream.
you, thank you.
Yeah, but
very
I said on the
much.
live stream with Cop Pizzle, I said you're going to take Carter, and then you're going to trade back in. I thought it'd
Yeah,
be
yeah,
with the
Dart.
with Pittsburgh. I said I thought Sanders, and he said, "Well, hopefully it'd start." Well, he was right; it was start, but still, the fact that they were aggressive and they traded back in. I think this division is going to be really hard The Eagles. I mean, I saw a couple people say sweep. They ain't, even Philly 500 said they ain't sweeping shit.
They ain't sweeping, but they're gonna be a
No.
threat. They're gonna be a threat for the next couple of years.
The
So
Eagles
let's
are
be real.
good.
They got a hell of
but
a spot.
It's
Wow.
team.
It's,
I just seen this.
it's going to be
I know,
hard to
it's not-
sweep with these 4 teams. That's all I'm saying.
I didn't.
Yeah, it's
this
gonna be
is-
a slugfest.
This not sports football related, but that fan that fell from the right field wall in
Ooh.
PNC Park and was carted off. That's a hard fall. That's a long fall.
I
Wow.
didn't see it. I didn't see it.
Was
I
that
didn't
Reed?
either.
That was a
Yeah.
Geronimo fall.
Is he okay?
Yeah. I mean,
Dude,
now I don't know, but he was carted off.
No, I did see that somebody collapsed for the Washington Nationals.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Before the game tonight, he was showing
Yeah.
batting practice and he collapsed. Anybody hear any update? Is he okay?
No, nothing right here.
Just what you were saying about the Saints earlier, because you were saying
yeah,
something.
yeah. Go ahead with
Oh,
the
yeah,
Saints.
that's a good. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
The Saints apparently, Carr, they think some people are saying he might be fibbing about his injury. Some.
Why?
That's every player.
Yeah,
Just
but
so he
it's-
can get that Mahomes treatment, you know, like
Yep.
What are you
yep,
sweeping?
Exactly.
You go sweep your house, Drew. You ain't sweeping this division.
What? Drew,
No.
get out of here.
Hey, Drew, I'm going to take 100 from you. Vegas is already up in their number. So I'm already taking 100 from you. Don't we take like another 100 saying that you ain't sweeping the division? No, I ain't doing that, but you ain't sweeping the division. I should bet.
That's another one of Vinny's
Come
saying
on,
about
man.
Atlanta.
That's
Vinny got
that's
Atlanta got
nonsense, Drew.
slammed. Atlanta got
So-
slammed.
Thank
So-
you, though, Drew. Thank you.
So I didn't think the NFL would do this, but they fined the Falcons a lot of
yeah, I
we
saw
talked
that.
about
I saw that.
I saw that.
It was
Yeah.
me and Momo and you guys that one that got him fined. You're welcome. We
money.
called it out saying I'm shocked that they didn't do
They pulled
anything.
the strings.
But
They pulled the strings.
No, this is the fine. They fined the team,
But
the
still,
Falcons, $250,000,
That's
which is nothing.
yeah,
That's
Nothing.
nothing.
yeah.
But
Nothing.
oh,
And they fined the dad
Dad.
$100,000.
But
Drew,
when they get fined that 250, that should go towards their
that-
salary
that's
cap.
not official, Drew. That's
That
not
should go
official.
towards their salary cap.
They should have taken draft picks. They should have taken
Man,
draft picks.
look at Randy. Randy's like, yeah, I don't
Take
want no
the pick.
warnings.
You want
I mean,
to
that
Really?
money don't. Honestly, that money don't mean nothing to the owners.
Well,
250,000.
They're
is
not
just
the only
nothing.
ones, though. They gave
Yeah.
out the
Hey, bro,
number like it was
100,000.
water. There was
Yeah.
multiple clubs who did this. He did this to multiple teams.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now it's
Yes.
coming out that Shador wasn't the only guy.
No,
So
it wasn't the only one.
There
and
was
stuff.
multiple guys that were saying.
But
then they
I
got the-
think those ones, the other two he did, I think it was 3 in total. The other two was lower draft. And they it wasn't a big deal. Sands was the big one because he was dropping. I guess and that's what.
Yeah, obviously, but I mean, it just goes
Yeah.
to show you, it was kind of blown out. Like
So the coach was fined 100,000, right?
Yeah.
No,
No. Yes, he
the
was.
defense.
Yes, he was.
No,
Yeah,
the
the
coach,
head- the
yeah,
defense coach, yeah,
the defensive coach, 100,000, which they gonna just mark that as charity because he ain't gonna pay that.
Yeah, no doubt. But the way he apologized on the news, how he apologized. The man was sobbing on a damn on the news. So come on now.
Well, he's wasn't he the dude that was he the one from in the Jets, right? He was the one that was
I
coaching the
think
Jets.
so.
Yeah.
I think so. But I do know the son, he's getting a lot of flack ever since on campus.
Good.
He's gonna catch hell. He's gonna have a long time in college.
well, listen, he was young and immature.
And the guys was with him, they getting a lot of flack too. So they was laughing too.
Well, like an idiot, every single person has to videotape it and just look at the
I
crime.
know,
Social
right?
media. Social
Like
media.
it's like it. Like yeah, whatever, man. You go through all this stuff and then you just let me just videotape it. Don't use a caller
That's
ID
that's
block or anything like that. You
That's
just
the
straight
kids
up,
today. They think messing with people, throwing pillows, going to do these throwing pillows on somebody's head and stuff like that, or coming to you and do these. Personally, I'm a grown up. I'm an adult. I don't do that to somebody in your age bracket because older people like myself, I might jack you up.
Dude, I remember Candid Camera. That was
Yeah.
funny.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
They
funny.
used to know how to do it.
A prank, a prank is to me shouldn't even get that personal. Where you are
Exactly.
waiting and you are already upset. So it is. They got fined. I I kind of agree with Randy. I think personally, 2 draft picks would have been fine for me.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I like it. I like it. I'm not gonna argue against it. I just think it's pretty harsh, but yeah, I like it.
Well, how are you going to
That's
stop
how.
them? They're going to keep doing it for
Yeah.
250. It ain't going to matter to them. I mean, there's going to be kids out there that find this stuff.
Well,
They know how
come
to
on.
act.
How much are the views? Yeah, how much did you make on the views of that
Yeah.
video? More than 250,000. I hear.
Jay
Mhm.
Smooth says Eagles probably won't even make the playoffs. Now, the
I
last
don't agree
time,
with that.
well, the last time they won a division,
Oh,
right? The next
golly,
year,
Jay. Man, that was harsh.
I mean, listen.
Damn.
I mean, we'll see.
Damn.
Man. I mean,
Like unless they get hurt, I don't even know. Even if they get hurt, I think they got a
they
deep
didn't
roster.
sweep last year,
Yeah,
No.
no, they didn't. I'm just
and
like,
that was their
it's-
Super Bowl year. And we were beat up. We're going to be way better this year. Now, maybe not. I mean, we'll be better record-wise too, but we have a tougher schedule. But
If they're going end of the day, doing this early in the football off season, we don't know how these players react to
I mean,
to
Momo's
different
got them
things.
third in the what? You got the Eagles third in the
Yeah,
division.
because I don't
Yeah,
see
he's
it.
got
I
the
really,
Commandos, then Cowboys, then
it's pronounced Commanders.
I know what it is.
Well, it's all commodes. You mean
You
commodes,
don't
right?
like the name either, Momo.
I hate the name.
That's why I call them Commandos. To me, that
Do
would
you
be
know?
better.
Oh, Commodes.
The Commandos would be badass.
Commodes even better.
damn, Ultra.
People in DC could call them
I was drinking.
the Commodores.
God
They joke around, call them Commodores.
You just see Ultra's comment. Yeah,
I
Ultra.
was in the middle of my drink and shit.
What the hell?
Oh my god, dude.
Oh god.
But here's my thing about that name. Personally, the team, there was 3 names up there, and the Commanders was
Red
not, all the
Tails.
names was bad.
Red Tails.
The Red Tails, what?
Red tails.
I remember.
Watching the Red Tails, I said it in the beginning. Keep the Washington football team. You got all this merchandise out there already for
I
last
thought
season.
Should have kept the
Washington.
Redskins. That's what you should have kept.
The Sentinels. I don't know. Like there's just a lot of teams politically right there with Washington D.C. I think there's just a lot of names there.
Isn't that name in the newspaper?
I don't know.
Sentinels.
Okay,
No.
I'm
That was
from
off of
DC.
Keanu Reeves.
I'm born and raised in
Oh,
DC,
okay.
so I didn't understand.
Don't knock
Okay,
on the
in
door.
Southeast DC, it's a football. I went to this high school called Anacostia. Anacostia is a Native American name. So the nickname was the Anacostia Indians, and it's still the Anacostia Indians. They have not changed the name. So I was surprised that they did that, took the name away.
So
Yeah,
they
it's more of a
called
Snyder.
So they'll be
No, son.
called the Washington
Might be outside.
Anacostia.
Oh, my Capitals
Well,
won. Yes,
listen,
the
Momo.
Capitals won. They go forward.
did you hear about RFK, the site of RFK?
Oh yeah, I love it
Is-
because
Explain to everybody what's
they
going
put-
down. Explain to the people what's happening. Because I'm
Um,
happy. I love the site. But anyway, go ahead.
I said RFK, because the toxic waste they gotta go slowly, but in 5 years there'll be a new stadium, and they spending a whole lot of money. I think like $5 billion.
Well, they got
for-
how many owners do they have? I mean, like they should be able to, right?
No,
Yeah.
Entourage.
Yeah, you got Magic Johnson, got the guy who owns. Doesn't he own a baseball team or a basketball?
There's a couple of teams. There's like
Toya,
two or,
baby.
I think it was
Toya,
two
Arnold's
teams.
the
Arturo.
I think a
Sixers.
basketball
Arnold's the
and a
Sixers.
baseball, right, or something like that.
Yeah,
I
he
think.
owns the Sixers.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. He owns the Sixers, and so he has done wonders for the area.
Harris. Josh Harris.
So here's the thing why it means a lot to me personally. I, as a kid, 16 years old, I sold coke at RFK State.
Wait, hold on.
I
You-
used to
wait.
Scarface?
You were
Scarface?
a
Coke
drug dealer
soda,
at
Coke
RFK?
soda, Coca-Cola,
Oh,
Coca-Cola.
I thought you said you were
Coke.
dealing coke. Oh, okay. For a minute there, I'm like, wow, he sold coke at RFK. I'm like, yeah, okay. I mean, I know you got, you fans were hopped up, but that was crazy. Anyway, go
Say
ahead.
hello to my little Momo.
Oh, God damn.
But,
Got a little
so I
nose
used
candy.
to go down there near the where the players was at, and it's like that. And I met many of the players. I met Sonny Jerks. I met Billy Kimball. I met Al Green. I
Over
said
the
Al
hill
Green.
gang. Over the hill gang.
Yes, so I used to meet these guys, and I can tell you my experience with Billy Kimball and Sonny and Larry Brown, they was drunk playing football.
A lot of them back then were drunk.
The
A
Raiders
lot
were
of them.
smoking drink in the damn locker room.
They were all drunk back then.
Yeah,
It wasn't just the Redskins.
I know. I'm saying the whole league was like that because
Let my dog out.
it was a fun time for me as a kid to meet these.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And
It was your heroes. I mean, let's look at it. That's the way it was.
so
Well, back then-
I met Billy Kimber, but I wasn't a big fan of Billy Kimber because he couldn't throw the football. The ball wobble all the time. He threw the ball, but Billy Kimber was a great running back and tight end, but he had that car accident, so that's why he couldn't. He had no motor skills to get away from the sacks.
Well,
Those so
back then you could meet those players. Back then you had more accessibility to those players.
Yeah, you did.
yeah, you did.
I'm seeing.
I met Too Tall Jones in the Dallas game.
Nice.
And I
Hey,
shook his
Linda,
hand.
how are you?
I shook his hand, and I used to give Cokes, Coca-Cola, Coke, not
I
Coca-Cola.
got you now. I'm sorry. Some Coke. I'm
Momo
seeing
Dr.
here where the
Feelgood.
Giants' Abdul Carter also received a prank call.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so that's on ESPN's website. But I wanted to talk to Jesse. What's
Yes,
your
sir.
and anybody else in here who wants to comment? I'm
Okay.
curious. Abdul Carter wanted to wear number 56.
Oh, yeah.
hell no.
Yeah.
Hell
And
no.
Taylor said, "Go make your own legacy."
But he said it with dignity. He said
here's
he
the
didn't do like he
deal,
did to
though.
Micah.
Here's the deal. You can't retire like Dallas is getting into a. You just can't retire all these numbers. If you're a good organization, you cannot retire all these numbers. You know, you know what I mean. It's like,
But Brian, this guy was a goat of defense.
well, I'm only bringing him up because Momo was talking about Coke. So
Oh.
you know,
Good,
geez.
amazing
Shots fired.
transition. Amazing
come on,
transition.
Shots
man.
fired.
I teed that one up high to myself and
exactly.
nailed it. Yeah,
Now-
there was like CZ. Oh, CZ, your stuff went out today along with somebody else's. I lost track.
Yeah, but
So,
I
yeah.
just Jesse, I just want to say to you,
You.
the what's the kid? I forgot his name. One y'all got, and he trying to get Lawrence Taylor number. Well,
Yeah.
all the numbers
Carter.
you want to get, you don't want 56 on your back. You don't want that pressure and anticipate. Oh no, you cannot live that because New York gonna let you know. Every
You're
time
gonna
you
Let
get
him
on
know
that field,
anyway, though.
Look, Taylor did him a favor saying that that's
Yeah.
carrying a humongous mountain on his back. You know, but this talk about a legend, a major legend.
Oh yeah, but he was a cokehead too. But no,
Yeah,
no,
but that's
no
after
offense.
whatever he did. Look,
So
whatever
is
he
Hollywood
did, what he
Henderson.
did, chasing little girls and all that bullshit.
Oh,
back
I
in-
remember that.
Everybody
Yeah,
has theirs.
That,
We had
that was
Michael.
off issue. That's
Yeah.
off issue. I ain't even talking about that.
Oh, we
I'm
had
not talking
Michael.
about
We had
the way
Yeah.
he told Carter though was respectful, but the
Right,
way he
right,
did
yeah.
Micah was hilarious. It's like, oh my records are secure.
All right, but I'm asking you a question about Hollywood Henderson because they did say he should drink Coke through the water or
Yeah.
water bottle.
Yeah.
Was that true? Because you know how the media just make things up.
I can't be 100% sure, but I know I did read his book years ago. What was his book called? Does anybody remember? Hollywood Henderson.
Now you got me.
I have it in my cabinet over there. I can't remember the name of the book. I remember.
He was
reading it.
what was he a linebacker or defensive?
I'll be right back, guys.
No, he was a linebacker. He number 56. He did
He was
coke
good.
in the
He was
locker
pretty
room
good.
before the game. Oh, Hollywood Henderson was the man. But he
Momo, you remember Brian? He ran 2 kickoffs back for
Yes.
touchdowns.
Yeah,
A lot of people don't know that. As a linebacker, he was good.
yeah, he
He
was
just
good.
he had a problem with Coke.
Yeah.
No, he come out. If you
Yeah,
watch
not
the thing on
Coca-Cola.
Roger Staubach saved his life.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did.
He
I heard
came
that.
to Roger and Roger he said, "You're a good guy. I'm gonna help you out." And he ended up saving his life. He admitted that.
Yeah. Is
He
he
got him
alive
away
today?
from drugs. Yes, you know what? It's somebody, I don't know if anybody knows this, but Henderson won the lottery twice.
really
25 million and like 30 million.
What?
Y'all didn't know that?
I did not.
No.
He hit the lottery twice, not once, but
He made
twice.
it to the NFL, survived coke, and won the lottery twice. Wow.
Twice, yes.
While we're on the Giants, Evan Neal, I don't know if you heard this, Jesse. Evan Neal will move from tackle to compete at guard. I think finally this was a good move by the G-men.
Yeah, I'd agree.
Phil, go ahead, comment on that.
No, that was there was a couple of those tackles that came out during that time. Charles Cross came out at that time. They just haven't performed up to that. I think this is a really good move to try to at least get something from that pick. So yeah, we'll see how he does. It's always a little bit better when you're inside, or as Voch says, inside wrestling a bear inside of a phone booth. But I think it's a really good move. Hopefully it'll rejuvenate his career.
Yeah, I think that's a big deal. So Jesse, so that's good for the G-man, I think, I do think that's a good move. I think he struggled out at the tackle spot.
Yeah, agreed 100%.
What do you guys think? Shedeur Sanders now has the top selling jersey of the 2025 rookie class. Surprise.
Jesus.
Because who the hell else do you want? Who else do you want?
Well,
McMillan? You want your Carolina McMillan jersey? I know. That's got to be flying off the shelf.
But here's the thing. Here's the caveat.
Just in New York.
He's selling more on on his own personal website than the NFL, because a lot of people are pushing that. Shannon Sharp on his show,
because you get the bling bling on the other side, right?
And then he celebrate with all that. I think, okay, you got drafted. I don't think you should be flaunting like he was doing that night he went to draft.
Yeah, what does that say, man? I'm sorry. It's just,
I know. Let's say he doesn't care.
I am so glad that we didn't end up with him.
Man, brother. For once, I agree with you.
I mean,
you see the celebration.
Deion is what really saddens me. Deion handled this whole situation horribly. Sorry, Deion, you did, brother.
He thought he was an agent. Let's be real, man.
You did your sons wrong, man. Again,
you need an agent to know what they're doing. You don't need your father, a player who doesn't know how, because you can talk to the team and see what's going on.
Half of the clubs reportedly took him off of their board based on the arrogance of the Sanders.
We were the first.
Half of the NFL took him off the board just because of the arrogance, and then they gave him another chance, and they brought him in again. And it's the arrogance.
Now, I was really upset. I'm gonna tell you personally.
I mean, I defended
this kid so much on different platforms, all over several platforms. Now he goes and celebrates. I look like a damn fool. I'm here.
I never thought it was more than what it really was. I knew something had to have happened, but Shedeur Sanders, he could dig himself out, but it has to be with his arm and his legs. It can't be with his mouth.
He's not going to be the star to come in and
how is that going to work?
He'll be gone in 5 years. Watch.
Well, I don't know. Maybe he won't, but
he won't. They'll humble him when he gets to training camp.
He has a lot of road ahead of him to be able to navigate in order to actually be a starter in this league. He has to.
He's Bronny James of the NFL.
Yes.
Oh Jesus!
No, I don't think he's that bad.
No,
Bronny,
no, but he's equivalent to where like people are rooting for his failure, and you're not really giving the guy a chance to at least develop and stuff. Everything's going to be under a microscope and everything like that. So
I
it's
give
just
him credit, Phil. They sold the hell out of that program for a team that didn't do squat last year. Colorado.
They had more eyes on them in that first season.
Sold that shit. I was watching every game. I was rooting for them, but at the end of the day, they came up short a lot.
Well, my question is, where's the scouting department in there? Like, you can't tell me that Deion doesn't bring in a good scouting department or being able to get something, because like you cannot get linemen in there. There's no linemen that are willing to go there.
Dude,
like, I don't understand.
Phil, I want to ask you a question. Okay, the first game that Colorado played, they beat the team that went to the national championship, right?
Yeah.
Was that a good team they played? Oh, wasn't that as good?
That was just a team.
That was a team. That wasn't the team, because a lot of them went to the NFL.
Yeah, that was a team.
Yeah.
So that's what they were saying when they won that game. Like they upset them, and which technically they did, but they didn't have the same players they had. So I was confused at the time. I was like, well, why are they making a big thing? Half these players are gone.
One of
Well,
these,
Dion.
yeah, exactly. Well,
Yeah.
because it's a bigger program, I think that they're going to brag about that. When I look at what they did, they did amazing on the hype. I mean, until they played Oregon, they were on a roll. They were getting wins. They weren't pretty wins at the same time, but
Yeah.
the moment that they had to play a bigger powerhouse team that has established recruiting and scholarships and all that kind of stuff, unfortunately, Dion was working against the clock in the sense of he got to the program. He he did it totally wrong. Okay, everybody just kind of like trade or go away.
Yeah.
He not even evaluating. I feel like there was no evaluation. He didn't get there to try to figure out what he had, look over the stuff. So it was
He
hard
got
for
rid of a
me
lot of players from the
Well,
previous.
Yeah.
he said his exact words were, "Don't make no long-term plans here."
It's like
What I
you
didn't
can't
like
say
about
that.
Dion, the first season he played, every press conference was confrontational with the reporters.
But yeah.
And like, y'all didn't believe, you didn't believe, you didn't believe. I like Dion. Just tell you about what happened in the game and just go
that's the
about
thing
your
about that,
business.
and that's the truth. Like, because Dion, like, the reporters are not there to believe in your program. We didn't sign in the scholarships. You're not signing us to your program. We're not
Exactly.
believing into your words. We don't go to your church, okay? If you want to say it in the Dion terms itself.
Yeah.
Like I love Dion. I love when he talks and stuff, the way that he get. But there's a certain point where there's no more football knowledge that comes out of his mouth. He's not teaching his sons football, the game. He's teaching them how the other parts of it, the arrogance. This is when I came onto the draft. I walked up, I did my 40-yard dash, I got in my limo, I got the hell out of there. Like that's the approach they took to this draft. And guess what? They didn't
Don't
have
work.
the tape to back it up.
So it doesn't work for everybody. If you ain't on his level, Dion's level, how he was back in those days, and your son's not doing well, it's not. But I don't know. I wish him well. But
Well, let me ask you a question. If everybody knew Dion and Dion did Dion back in the 1987 or whatever, 89, would Dion have gotten away with his shit?
Not
You understand?
not nowadays.
Well, not nowadays. You understand? Like it's a whole different thing. But if nobody was expecting it, and that's what made it surprising for Dion.
it was rare. It was rare. Now, only person I could say who came in with that, who tried to come with that, was Brian Bosworth.
No,
Actually, there was another player, John
another one.
Elway. Actually,
Yeah.
he bitched about the team he went to and was almost traded to Dallas. Actually,
He was like, didn't want to be part of the Colts, right? He refused
That's
to be part of
right.
the Colts.
yes,
He didn't want to be drafted by the Colts or
Eli
So he
did
would
it
play
too.
baseball.
He's going to
Eli
play
Eli
baseball.
did it too.
Yeah, he did it.
Eli.
Eli did it, Randy, but he backed it up.
Yes,
So-
I'm not saying. Honestly, we say all of this stuff, but I hope and pray that the guy Sanders does good for
Yeah,
himself.
I'm rooting
Because there's
for- I'm
there's a
rooting
lot
for
of
him.
people that are down on this guy, and you know what? He ain't done nothing wrong.
I don't have a problem with him. I have a
No.
problem. Again, I'm sorry, Bobby Valentino. I love Dion as a player, as a Cowboy, but
Yes,
there's just a lot right now, man. I just, I'm rooting for Shador. I
me
am.
too.
I'm rooting for the
That's
kid.
so-
I feel
Okay.
for the guy.
I think he
Okay,
was
didn't
kind of
Brian
put in a tough
Bosworth-
spot.
Hold on, let Brian
Didn't-
talk.
Yeah, that's all right.
I'm
Let him
sorry.
go. I'm nobody. Okay, Brian Bosworth. What about him?
Didn't he was out the league in 3 years, wasn't he?
That was an
I
I don't
injury.
really remember. I don't really
not
remember
really
too much of
sure.
his
I could
career.
look
I
it
remember
up.
I remember his more of his movie career. Than
Yeah.
The bad movies, the bad movies.
And the hair, and the hair, Phil, and the hair, the
Yeah,
bandana.
and the hair. Yeah.
Brian Bosworth. You know how old he is? He's 60. Holy shit.
Yo,
He
yeah.
was older.
Brian
Oh, Phil.
Bosworth is 60 years old.
Remember
Wow.
what Bo did to Brian?
I
He ran his
remember.
ass over.
Oh yeah.
Bo Jackson ran a fourth. I was.
He's
Yeah.
the best athlete. Go ahead,
yeah.
Brian. I'm
no,
sorry.
No, go ahead. I'm looking at something up anyway.
Bo Jackson was the best athlete I ever saw,
Me too.
bar none.
I don't know how many years he played.
Baseball, football, he could have
I
done
think
it
he
all.
played 8 years. I think he played 8 years.
Not
Three-
Bo. Brian
No,
Bosworth.
Bo. No, Bo.
Oh,
I'm trying to answer one question at a time. You guys.
Yeah, but Brian,
I'm not
I
even
remember
done.
that game in Kansas City when he caught that ball and went up the side of the the one of the
Yeah,
I
that was
can't get.
Cincinnati. That was against Cincinnati.
Yeah, it was
When he got
crazy.
when he got his hip hurt.
Yeah,
Yeah, that was sad.
that's sad. I think he had. It was just. I think it was hereditary. They say, but
Oh yeah.
they say.
And I ran my first 40. And about 5 yards from the finish.
Here you go. I want you guys to hear this. This is kind of cool. All right, this is Bo Jackson talking. This is how good Bo was, how fast he was. Just listen to this.
And I ran my first 40. And about 5 yards from the finish line, I kind of like let up and just cruised through. And I ran a 4.3. And I got down there. So my coach, as I'm walking back, my coach is walking toward me. He said, "Hey, why don't you run the damn 40? Give these people what they want so they can leave me alone." 40. So I said, all right. So I said, you got to open the back door because they only had about 10 to 15 yards of space for you to stop once you cross the line. I said, you got to open the back door because I can't stop in this distance if you want me to do. So they raised the back door up. Open, and I told the guy that I was with, I said, get my bag and just go on and start walking because I'm not going to stop and I'm not coming back. I'm just going to
keep on going.
Dropping the mic.
Yeah.
So I got down and everything was done electronically. I didn't find out till after track practice, what I had run. And some of the guys that had stopwatches, they had me at 3.9 or 4 flat with stopwatches, but the electronic timer had got me at a 4.13.
4.13.
Man, he
Wow.
was gliding.
Bo Jackson.
Another one of my other player, I
Bo
just
Jackson
know
was
he
the
played
best.
for the Cowboys, was Herschel Walker. This man never lift weights. He just did.
Oh yeah, Herschel was
push-ups.
the man. Yeah.
He played for the Cowboys, but I guess they had
He
they
was-
made
Yeah,
made that
Vikings,
big-
Cowboys, Eagles.
the dumbest trade
Yeah.
in NFL history.
Yeah, yep. I have a picture of Herschel Walker. I was at Veteran Stadium as a kid, of Herschel Walker warming up next to Tony Dorsett on the sideline. It was kind of neat, because they were both on the same team for a short period of time. So, yeah, definitely. DJ Moore, trade for DJ Moore, West Virginia Country Boys. I don't know, Phil.
No.
That's something? No?
No.
He says no.
What's
All right.
wrong with DJ Moore? He's average, lower tier.
I don't know, Phil. Go ahead. What do you think?
A lot of those. Well, I mean, don't get me wrong. DJ Moore would be a step up from what we have in the roster, yes. But yeah, if you're gonna where's DJ Moore anyways right now?
Last night a DJ stole my. Oh, sorry.
He's in the Bears, isn't he?
Is he in the Bears? I was like, because if you're gonna, I mean,
What's the
again, I think the guy that they would be more willing to because they've been loading up. And I know they put a first round pick into Roma Doomsday, but that was the guy that seemed to not really show up last year. But I guess it would be way too early. Kind of got to give another year before you can kind of get that possible trade.
Yeah.
I think Dallas needs a burner. I get the big body, but
That's why.
so.
Well,
I don't
that's
think
why
so.
I'm curious to see Cavante
got
Turpin.
Turpin.
He's
You got
finally going to play receiver, and he runs a 4.2. So again, that'll help. But don't ask me why, but he was spot duty. And he was lined up in the backfield a lot, or getting balls in the smoke screens. It'd be nice to see him just actually run a 9 route or run a post.
But when he did, he actually was successful.
Oh yeah,
That's when they
he
actually
went to
did
the
that.
house a few times. So
Yeah.
That's because
they
he's a
have
coach.
speed, Drew.
Yeah.
Our coaches aren't very good. In
So
getting them the
here's
ball.
the question:
They just
the
aren't.
Eagles that got picked by the Dolphins, and he's a Texas boy, Texas guy. He's
Who?
from
Who?
Eagles. I can't pronounce it.
Yours.
Yours.
Yeah.
Do you think he'll be the starting quarterback for the Miami Dolphins?
I don't think he'll be the starter, but he'll play at some point this year when Tua gets hurt.
Yeah, one.
Yeah, he think he'll get hurt. Come on now.
Well,
Momo, he's got 3 concussions already. Come
Three.
on now.
Like
three.
No, he's got more than
in
three.
last year,
Three
like
is
3
just-
last year,
yeah,
right?
3 last
3
year.
last year.
3 in prime time.
And
3 that we
probably
saw.
more
Yeah,
than
3 that we
that,
saw on TV.
Yeah, 3 that we saw.
Exactly.
Now, let's just go over it. Now, I'm sorry. I have to go back to this because I see a lot of the convo in the chat, Linda, and she's right. I'm not hating on Shador. I'm really not. I'm rooting for the kid. I'm just saying it's a tough spot for him to be in. But just I mean, it's going to clear itself up. But the Cleveland quarterbacks. Okay, you have Deshaun Watson. They just extended him. Does that? I really don't know. I'd have to analyze what that means regarding the salary cap going forward. I would imagine it gave him relief, but it also extended the money out. So
Yeah, I think that's what it was. It was like lower amount of money so they could just be able to push money down the road instead of
to kick it
the
down the
whole
road.
It's about.
because the whole thing was guaranteed, right? And you had
Yes.
nothing to push
Yep.
anywhere,
And then-
and you
yeah.
just had to pay out.
And then they traded with Philly for Kenny Pickett, right? So they have Deshaun Watson, then Kenny Pickett. Then they went in free agency and picked up Joe Flacco because Deshaun Watson isn't playing this year, right? And Kenny
think
Pickett, they
I
want
think-
somebody to compete with Kenny Pickett. So then they brought in Flacco, who took them to the playoffs the year prior, not last year.
Flacco only got 6 good games because he's
Yeah,
not going to be
yeah,
good,
yeah.
and you're going to have to replace.
And
Have somebody
then- And then they drafted Dylan Gabriel out of Oregon.
He'll be on the
which
practice
makes no
squad.
sense.
And then they drafted Shador Sanders.
They needed somebody to throw in their rookie minicamp. That's
It's a
why.
Fab Five.
And that's why they're the Cleveland Browns.
Exactly.
That's not one. Well, they traded with the Eagles, and Eagles got the better quarterback.
They're like, yeah, I know.
I actually really, forgive me, I can't remember his name, but I remember seeing him with the Browns. I really liked him. He's a young guy. Why they would give up on him for Kenny Pickett, I don't know. Not that Kenny did horribly, because he actually looked decent, but I liked the Browns' backup quarterback. So I think the Eagles got the better of that.
Was Kenny Pickens? I'm thinking, was he with Pittsburgh at one point?
Yes, yes, he was with the Steelers. Yep. And then the Eagles, I guess, traded for him, and then the Eagles traded him away, I believe. So, who did you get, Drew? What's his name that you traded for? I can't think of his name.
The quarterback from UCLA, I believe it is.
He was with Cleveland. I liked him. I can't think of his name right now.
Name right now,
Yeah.
Dorian.
Oh yeah. It's like Dorian something Smith or something. Yeah, I don't know. I'm thinking.
I hear somebody talking about Turpin for the Cowboys. I don't think Turpin is a true slot receiver. I think
he's not a slot. He's an X actually. He's an outside receiver.
He's outside receiver.
Yeah.
So I don't see the Cowboys using him as much because I don't think he know how to read the defense and know
He
and
played
coverages.
that exclusively in college and in the UFL. He's been a playmaker with Dallas when the ball is in his hands. So the problem is they haven't put the ball in his hands enough. That's what it is.
All roads lead to Dak.
So we will see. Here's the deal. He has an opportunity. That's all you could really ask. If he doesn't do it, he ain't going to. They just signed him to, a 2-year deal, Phil? So I think they re-signed him to a 2 or 3 year deal.
3 years, Brian.
Yeah, so 3 years. So he's not going anywhere. He runs a 4.2 whatever. He flies. He's small. That we know, right? You can't be.
It was 3 years, wasn't it? Yeah.
You can't be running him into coverage, but he's hard to hit too. He kind of he's a poor man's D-Jack, is what I could say. What's that?
He's like the Miami receiver. He's really fast. But
Well, the Miami receivers actually got a little ass on him. Not Turpin. Turpin's
Well, Momo, you remember Turpin? He ran that touchdown back.
Yes,
he
I do
knows
remember.
him.
I know.
I'm
He
kidding
actually
with you,
ran
man.
three back last year, I believe.
Yeah,
And
2 or 3.
think about that. Like he went years without running anything back. Like, and he did 2 in that game. Like,
It just for whatever reason, we couldn't do anything last year, so it's hard for me to say. Well, but for whatever reason, we just can't
and
seem
all I
to
know
get
is
the ball in.
McCarthy was covering the draft inside of a booth with Pat McAfee. So
Yeah.
that goes to show you where McCarthy ended up going. I was a little surprised there.
I was too.
I do like.
I think he coached next year. I think he'll.
Oh, I think so too.
He's taking a year off. He's being a good soldier, acting like there wasn't any rift. But he was tired of being with that headache, Jerry Jones. That's what it was.
Oh, so I'm going to watch this Netflix thing. It's called The Fall of Brett Favre. That will be interesting.
When's that come out? Dorian Thompson Robinson. That's it. Thomas Robinson. Okay, I got you. Thanks, Daniel M.
Homo, listen, what has Washington done? Because your defense is still trash.
I just say I'm just waiting. I wait for the season because you don't know any the off season. It's still off season. There's still people out there you can pick up.
Homo,
He's not shitting on our team right now. Go ahead, go get Washington. Go ahead. Yeah, they trash.
Looking at the barrel, you only had about four draft picks.
Five to be honest with you.
Washington.
Yeah. Well, he said that they won't give up 50, but they may still give up 40. But,
your worst moment.
Okay, defense is bad. I'm not I'm not disillusioned of that. I'm saying that
you're illusion if you're going to say that the Eagles will come in third place.
Okay, I believe the Eagles come in third place because I think Jalen Hurts is going to have to throw the ball more. So I don't know why you're here trying to get on my back. But concentrate on your team and make sure Jalen Hurts know how to throw the ball right and stop running. Because he's going to get hurt again. He's going to get hurt again.
That quarterback at the watch our defense too.
I know, right?
So what do you are delusional? How can you?
I'm not delusional.
I like
saying
Trey
that's
Amos.
my opinion.
That was the only.
I like Trey Amos. That was a great pick.
But that was it. That's all they got.
But they didn't pick up any defensive tackles. That's the problem.
And that's my with Dallas. I know you picked up a big bag of rocks in the 6th round.
That's why he came in here to trash everybody's team. That's why you came in here, Drew.
Let's go over their draft. They went and got Josh Connerly, offensive tackle. So we'll see. But then they got their only defense that I don't know. We'll get to the other guy, but they got Trey Amos. I liked him.
Great, good.
And then they went and got a receiver in round 4. And then in round 6, they got a linebacker, Medrano out of UCLA. That's it. And then they took a running back. They took really a guy that they're going to rely on. So, but I don't remember. Did you guys do anything in free agency, Momo?
They did. They signed a couple of people, but nothing.
Mostly
except for that guy who's going to retire. Well, I forgot his name. The guy who's going to retire.
I still don't know why he didn't bring back Fowler. I don't know how you let a guy with 10.5 sacks go to the Cowboys for $6 million.
Yeah, this is for Vinny. I listen. You can arguably say the Giants have the best defense in this division
on paper. They haven't showed it yet.
Put on the gridiron,
but they haven't showed it yet.
It's their corners.
Exactly. That's what I say.
Corners.
Dallas
question.
kicked their ass and they sucked.
That's what I say, Drew. That's what I say, Drew. I want my team displayed on the gridiron, not on paper.
Has to be displayed, but on paper, we can look.
Paper champions. Yeah, the Giants are always good.
Their defense is right there, especially their.
We don't know what Abdul Carter's going to be, though. There's a lot of risk
there. We got Carter and Thibodeau.
Hold up. Thibodeau has not lived up to expectations.
Burns.
Their best player, Drew, is their interior defensive lineman.
Solid.
Burns has not lived up to nowhere near what they thought. Brian Burns. So I hear what you're saying, Drew, but when you really look at it, Thibodeau is underwhelmed. Brian Burns is underwhelmed. So if Abdul Carter, let me ask Drew this.
And Lawrence, we got Dexter Lawrence as well.
I said that's my opinion. That's your main guy. Let me ask Drew this when it comes to the Giants. I know what Jesse's going to say. Do you think Carter was drafted high in large part of what Micah has done, or do you really think Carter's that guy?
I think I would say yes to both of those.
Yeah, I would think that's fair.
To be Micah Parsons, and I think that.
Thanks, CZ. I'll repeat that. He says, "Tell the Drew get ready for an ass whooping this year." Great stream, guys. He's an Eagle fan, so yeah. Hey,
yeah, I think I would say yes to both of you.
You know what I mean? I kind of feel like he was overdrafted. He's a big risk. I think he's got great talent, but. Is he going to be able to stop the run? We always hear about Micah. Is he going to be able to come in and stop the run? Now,
but you say that game time. You can say that about almost every.
Yeah.
Exactly.
This draft.
You do a lot about our players.
There's really
Oh
matters.
yeah. I know what you're saying. Yeah, I agree. That's why I wasn't upset that we didn't. Yeah, that's why I wasn't upset with with our first round pick, because that floor was so high that I'm okay with it. But I agree, it was a risk draft. Almost even.
Yep.
I mean, it was a bit. I would say weak as far as absolute stud talents.
Right.
So I would say Booker. There's probably Phil, maybe how many guys in the first round that are absolute, that aren't going to miss. They may not make a Pro Bowl, but they're not going to. I would say Booker. Who else would fall into that mix? Maybe I don't know, Phil. Who else would fall into that has a high floor, like in the first round of this draft? You know what I mean?
I
Yeah.
think drafted Campbell has a high.
Yeah, I would say Jihad Campbell. Now, I will say, I have heard, I'm not here to scare anybody, but some teams, he has
The injuries.
knee
And
and
shoulder
shoulder.
injury.
The shoulders he's had
Yeah,
on
but I
both
was
shoulders.
listening to WIP. They were saying knees and shoulders. Some teams, you dropped them. That's
But
why
we don't
he was
know,
dropped.
guys. Men, we have problems once we have our knees, our back, and our shoulders. So we don't get rid of them
we'll
as
see.
soon as they're there.
I mean,
know?
Yeah, he had.
we
he had
heard that
microscopic
about.
surgery his knee.
He's
I
a
mean,
tough
we
son of a
heard-
bitch.
Yeah, but we heard that about Jeremiah Trotter, and he played for the 12 years. So,
Yeah.
who the hell knows? Again, but I would agree with you.
Yeah.
I like the pick. But as far as I don't have the picks in front of me, but there's not many picks that don't have risk. I would say Ashton
every pick.
Genty. Ashton Genty's another one. There's very little risk there. You know what you're getting.
Genty's definitely
Travis Hunter. I think
Travis
is,
Hunter,
You're either
this-
way, you got an athlete. Either way, you got an athlete. You just got to
but
know
I
how to
think
use
there's
them. You just got to
risk,
know how to use
man.
them.
He's 188 pounds playing. Well,
Yeah, you just got to use them, right?
Yeah.
Eddie wants
But
to
he
play
got
both
gained some
positions.
weight though. I think he has to gain some little weight.
I like what
to
they're
me.
doing because they're playing him on offense, and then they're going to mix him in on defense. I think that's
But
where
he's
he's
talking
gonna
about
be.
he wants to play for.
Of course he
you know,
does. He wants to
And
be
that ain't
that.
gonna happen. That's
he-
not gonna happen.
He wants to be that, make the money off the field with the commercials, both ends.
I only gave the Giants an A out of the teams in the
Hey, well, thank you, Drew. I gave him A minus.
Well,
Well, let's be real, dude. You're shooting from point blank range. Okay, you're pissing. You're sitting while you're peeing right now. You're the third pick of each round. So don't
you
don't
better
make it
do
seem
good.
like you did. Like you better. Like you
If
can't
you
do
mess
it like
up
you did
that-
the year before. Like the year before.
Like, you know who was a risk? I'll tell you who was a risk. I was afraid of him.
Sundar.
No, I would say
No,
Carolina
no.
with Tet McMillan.
No.
Carolina.
I think that's a risk.
That's a big time risk.
A lot of those edge rushers that went early, they're all risks. Michael Williams, I liked his athleticism, but when you look at it, he didn't really do it in college. He was hot and cold. I like James Pierce a lot. So that was the other guy that I really liked. I'm surprised dropped as far as he did, but
So
I don't know.
here's the question: did they really get rid of the tush push, or did they just talk of getting rid of it?
No. It's here, baby. It's
It's
here.
still in May. It will be decided in May.
Wow, for now, I don't think it's going anywhere. I
That
think
is stupid. Like just
You
leave
gotta
it alone.
stop it to you can't
Yeah, to
just
me,
vote
I would
something
be
out.
embarrassed
That's
to
Yeah,
get rid of it
exactly,
now.
exactly.
That's the cheeseheads. That's the cheeseheads talking crap. That's what it was.
Yeah.
I will say this. I think our division, and I'm saying all four teams, I think we're going to have less wins within the division, but I think our division is going to be better. Honestly,
We're going to be the beast of the
across the
East. We're going to
board.
be the beast of the East again. Watch.
I'm looking forward to it. If that means that
It's going to be very physical, I think. This the division.
Speaking
definitely.
of
Well,
looking
his
forward
defense.
to it, in 2 weeks, I'm looking forward to the schedule release. So,
Oh, amen.
May 14th, right?
yeah, so I'm looking forward to see the gauntlet, and I have
Especially Washington.
I have a feeling that we're going to end up starting
Yeah.
on the road in New
Jesse,
York.
I need your number, and I give you my number because we're gonna have to talk. We're gonna stream live by live. Also, by the way, I did a video. First time I did the video, I was testing the waters with my video. I did a
Did
video.
Do you have a YouTube channel?
Were your pants on?
Underwear over your head?
If you have a
Yes, they
YouTube
were.
channel, put it in the.
Well, no. So I did it. It was a test. It was a short one. Then I did one for about 2 minutes. The second one, I got over close to 400 views right now.
Where at?
I don't know where. I don't know where it went to. It says it's private. I don't know how to. I get
So
like
it's a
this. I'm
It
YouTube.
going.
was
You have a
yeah,
YouTube channel.
Brian. No, Brian. He has an OnlyFans channel.
That's what I'm saying. Is it
OnlyFans?
OnlyFans? Yeah, he has a Patreon. No, I'm asking, is it a YouTube channel?
Yes, it is.
Well, you should
It
put your
says
channel.
Terrence. It says my real name
Yeah,
up there,
this
but
is
it
how
says
it works.
Momo.
Phil will tell you. It takes, you need to have what? Sometimes you can do it in 500 hours, right? Watch hours. You need 500 watch hours before you can even attempt to be monetized.
Yeah, of course.
So it's going to take you a while. So
Oh
that's
yeah,
why what you need to do is do long.
Yeah, when
live
I have
streams.
it, it's gonna call Momo's Rant.
But what you need to do is do long live streams, and that will help you get.
Oh yeah. I'm gonna try to do at least 2 hours.
Just listening to Mark, he'll help you. Mark will lead you the way.
Yeah. Mark is pretty good. We've been talking about it.
Yeah,
doing some things.
Me and Phil won't hear from him anymore. But hey, our
Why?
losses. I'm joking. It was a joke.
Okay, I don't know.
You should call it Momo's Eternal Rant.
Eternal Rant. No, Momo's Rant.
Mark texted me today, so he was out planting in his garden.
Yeah. So Jesse, I want to get you because during the season, I just want, and we played each other. I just want to. I want to laugh.
Not a problem.
Well, listen, I have to get up early, gentlemen. I enjoy doing this. I think I'm going to roll out of here. Phil, any final words before we get out, my friend?
Yeah, I mean, again, I think I represent a little portion. I think it's Cowboy Nation, where you always have the part of it that actually, hey, we're gonna go offensive lineman. It's gonna be Booker and stuff like that, and they guessed it. They're not surprised. They're hyping on it and everything like that. There's still Cowboy Nation with me, where I'm coming around to the picks. I know what these guys' value are. Again, I was just really high on getting some of these wide receivers. But we talked about it. What were these wide receivers going to bring that we didn't already have? We were missing the big body. He was gone by that point. Exactly.
We need that one.
So,
I mean that.
So when the Cowboys in the past have picked offensive linemen,
too.
I love it. When they gone off script and picked people instead of need, they have become Pro Bowlers. CeeDee Lamb, Micah Parsons. These are good examples. But time will tell, man. I want to see some training camp. I want to see these guys in pads. I want to see them with better numbers than 41. But I'm just ready for some new guys, and I'm ready to see what happens after May 2nd as well.
Yes, that is the day, everybody. May 2nd is the day where you could sign guys and not lose your comp picks. Drew, how many comp picks did the Eagles have next year? You have a shit ton, right? Or you have you figure you lost 5 guys, you'll probably get...
about 10.
Well, you only can get 4 comp picks. That's like they cut it off at 4.
They have 5 in the top 100.
Yeah, so Eagles will be,
Will here, Howie season.
Yeah, so again, it takes more than a draft. And, that's been Dallas's problem. They have great drafts, but then they don't add to it. And then if you don't have a great draft, like they've had the last couple of years, and then it really is blatant, and what happens is you end up getting thin. So hopefully they had a great draft this year. But thanks, Ultra. I appreciate everybody in the chat. I appreciate the super chats. Everybody, thank you. And don't worry, we'll do these periodically throughout the week. You won't get much notice, but Phil, thank you,
Logan.
brother. And,
Logan, Howie vision. But remember, you got to watch. Keep hitting him in the head with beer cans, and keep seeing how long he lasts and stays in Philly.
Hey, I'll supply the beers for him.
Everybody that's watching the broadcast or rewatching it, go sub up to Primetime Phil.
Already did.
I know you did, but we got to get other people to do it. You say it every time, Jesse. You can't only do it once, brother.
70 days till training camp.
70?
OTAs.
I'm looking forward to the schedule release because I need to know if I'm going to Vegas or not. So shout out for 2 weeks. We'll be there live covering it. Drew, have a good night. Everybody else, I will
good night, everybody.
Night, guys.
Late.
Peace.